cells and dies to purity. But then again, seeing to I'm asking a question. You've got the knowledge. You've gone to school. Could you have created a job? Could you have started the company? Could you have started the business? Like I said, some of the things that are major contributors to the revenue of America, like Apple, like Facebook, like Twitter, like Tesla. I mean, the list is endless. Are things investment done by the private sector, and they apply the knowledge that they have, whether it is traditional knowledge that is from tertiary institutions in that country, or whether from knowledge gotten from unconventional ways. They apply the knowledge, and they provide job opportunities for as many people, and that is why unemployment can be pegged at 5.6% in America. Yeah. And even last year, when there was the economic shutdown, what it was there was 14.6%. Meanwhile, look at Nigeria. Currently, it's about 33.3% unemployment rate. And we're saying, how do we curb it? I mean, we've even seen people who came in from abroad, so to say, after going or sojourning on a scholarship, or sojourning on education, what do they call it? Education, would I say, who go study abroad, they come back and they're still waiting for government to give them jobs. So I'm wondering, is that what the value of the certificate is? Wait and get employed, or create employment? Oh my, I would love you to join the conversation. Let's do Andre Gaji together. The numbers are the same: 0817 000 and 0810-951-0951. Your text messages to the number 0701 933 9962. You know the truth, I think I've had this conversation with management a couple of times. I wonder why we even attempt to even have these kind of conversations, because a lot of you're probably listening, you wouldn't want to contribute. Why? Because it's not political, it's not APC versus PDP, and so you wouldn't want to join the conversation or waste your airtime, so to say. But in all reality, APC versus PDP or any other political conversation will not really solve the issues. Like I said in the beginning, imagine if we had a good employment rate. Imagine if unemployment was reduced to 5.6% like it is in America, or even less. Do you know what that would mean? It would mean better revenue for Nigeria. It will mean that the prices of food in the marketplace will be reduced drastically. It means that industries will be available because people will have jobs. Who will now go and be carrying guns on the streets? Who will now go and be what do you call it now? Who will now go and be kidnapping people along Kaduna Abuja Expressway? Government will not be able to come and tell you, hey, come and take one bag of rice and sell your votes, because society, even if not 100% functional or not working optimally, society will be functioning nonetheless. It will not be in disarray like we currently find it to be. But I know it's education. What's my business? I didn't go to school, so why should I contribute? What do I know? 95.1 FM.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
I'm Samuel, calling from Ahoda.
All right, Samuel from Ahoda, welcome.
I would like to contribute concerning the question you asked, why graduates cannot contribute to the society.
That's a very good way to look at it. Go ahead.
Yeah, one, we should ask ourselves, has the government provided an enabling environment? When you want to open, and let's assume as a graduate, you want to venture into poultry farming, do we have the necessary things needed for a young graduate to embark on such venture?
Samuel, Samuel, I like the question you've asked, but I want to ask you a question I believe should come before that question. Motivational speakers will tell you preparation should meet opportunity, not opportunity coming and then you begin to prepare. Are the young
Exactly.
people equipped with the knowledge? Let's say we're still talking poetry now. Are the young
Yeah.
people equipped with the knowledge for poetry so that the government, when they finally wake up and provide the environment?
That's exactly where we have some challenges in our curriculum,
Okay.
in our schools, because
Okay.
young graduates are prepared just tailored into their own profession, not for them to venture into other areas of life when they graduate from the university. Most of them, let's say for instance, an electrical young graduate, you hardly see them have other form of should I say qualification or training that will enable them be self-reliant when they leave the school environment.
All right.
That's the challenge we have, because our curriculum is faulty.
Right.
They need to work on it, because it's the realities on ground has changed. So they really need to work on our curriculum. You cannot be using that old tailored type of curriculum and you feel it will work. It will no longer work.
Right.
That's the challenge we're having in Nigeria today.
Right.
Our youths are vibrant. They are ready to work. They are innovative, but the environment is the issue. The environment is the issue. That's the truth.
All right, then.
I really enjoy your program.
Thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much there. Keep it calls coming in 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, good afternoon, Kalada.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, this is Honorable Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right.
Yeah, let me tell you the little I know.
All right.
I when I finished school, I delved into business. The same government frustrated my own business. Let me tell you. I now say, okay, if you are not so thing in this country, you cannot be able to make it. I now join them. What I did was, my wife finished school, no job, with her certificate. All what I did is to open a small place for her. You know that the small business that I opened for my wife, you now see when government officials, government are coming to demand money from her. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. You didn't give her 1 naira. You didn't ask her to she finish school with your business. She raised business at me. How can we help you? You now see how I struggle and get money and open a place for her. You are what you did to come in every morning to come to stop her, to frustrate her the way you people frustrated me. That make me to join the movie friend. And then what I did was that I said, okay, you stay here, then let me join them. Anybody that comes to your office and want to stop you, call me. I'll come with my OT. That's what I did. I changed them to get them. If you try come to my wife's office that you are coming to do this and that, and bring this and that, I will flog you.
All right.
Because you go and open your own, manage. Sit down and workplace and do that business. See what people are passing through. Not the social telling you. Even some of them are not even graduates. Now, going around stopping graduates. Guys, they are not even happy that they finish school, no job. Their husband or the family open a small something. You that is not even graduate, start coming with the file. You are coming to ask her to give you money.
So if I understand you very well, you're saying that the government is not really, given the enabling environment.
Government, even the enabling environment, you come for light, you not see. You come for this, you not see. For example, like if you open a newspaper, go you see a bush. The government will not. Once you just open that place started flourishing. You now see government coming to. Are you the owner of this place? When that place was bush, why can't you go and open it? They should stop this thing that they are doing. Leave the innocent people to look for something, because the government have failed. When you see somebody that want to manage himself, you have this. Look at what they are doing to people. You close people's business. You don't want them to do phone calls. You don't want them to set recharge cards. You don't want them to hawk. What do you want them? See, so I have the opportunity to enter the house rock or to enter any power. Anybody that can
All right. Thank you very much, Chris. Everybody's talking about government's inability to create conducive environment and all of that and blah blah blah. But really, what about the youths? Have they equipped themselves? I mean, did they really? I mean, like I said, knowledge applied is what is power. I mean, you had the guest last week, and so are they really ready to apply knowledge? 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
My name is Egwa Sunday, calling from Rumodara.
Welcome, Sunday.
Yes. Based on your discussion this afternoon,
All right.
the value of certificate
Yeah.
and skill, right?
Something like that. Go ahead, yeah.
Okay. It is quite unfortunate here in Nigeria where certificate is seen as nothing. In short, if you do your personal assessment, go shop by shop, house by house, you know that you know that those things you study in school is not what is generating money for an individual.
So are you saying the knowledge we got from school is not applicable in society? Is that what you're saying?
It's not used at all. It's 75%. 75 in Nigeria. I'm saying that particularly here in Nigeria, it's not used. Look at it is after you finish school, after your service, that is when you still go back and learn a skill. That is when there's no job. You must have gone to maybe company by company, waiting for government for almost all the years, no job. When you still go to company by company and submit CV, they will not call you. That is when you still go back and learn how to maybe become a tailor or learn one skill or the other. So, not, and if you go, just check within even in the church, those people that are doing wedding now, they are not the same people that go to school. There are people that are doing normal, maybe trading or one skill or the other that they are doing it personally. It's quite unfortunate in Nigeria that we don't.
So now, for this thing you said the people, people who are making it in society are the people. I mean, they are doing what is different, what they learned outside of school. Is it the fault of these people for not really getting the knowledge, or is it the fault of the institutions for not giving the knowledge?
The knowledge is there, but the environment, the government policy they have planted the knowledge. But you can't even make use of the knowledge. I have a friend who's even a professional nurse. He has looked for a job for over 3 years now and he has not seen. If you go to these private hospitals, they will prefer to employ auxiliary nurses, the one that trained by themselves, where they will pay 10,000, 5,000 a month. They will not employ a real licensed nurse in these private hospitals. But if you go to government, no one, they've not even one employment they've not done. You understand me? So that one, the policy of the government have planted the knowledge of individual or those that went to school to use it to have practicalize it on society, thereby making them to go into other ventures than living what they went for in school.
All right then. Thank you very much for calling in, Dad. Thank you very much. Let's take this to the call. I lost that one. Keep your calls coming in. There's a message here for me, Kelvin from Omagua. An average Nigerian student studies very hard. You go to any university in the night, you will see students studying, but the truth is no support. And the curriculum is outdated too. Nobody can do the work of the government better than the government. But Calvin, studying at night time during exam period, is it really studying or is it reading for examination? That's another thing we need to look at. Is it reading for, let's just read and pass exams and get it done with? Is that not the case? But this one says, Kalada, good afternoon. The value of the certificate you're referring to here in the show that you have, I think you said, states that you have a certain level of educational requirement or qualification. The second value of it is opportunity. If it is for job procurement, Canada, it is for the lucky ones. Reginald from Port Harcourt. All right, then. I'm trying to understand your message, but thank you nonetheless. 95.1 FM. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Hello, Canada.
Yeah, Grandpa, I thought you called in before.
I want to say one thing that will encourage you.
Okay.
Did you know that Nigerian Navy, the staff have produced ship now, and they want to produce on the spot. because they have the opportunity. They have everything to practice.
Okay.
That is what I'm stressing on. Let there be something for this one. There are a lot who are willing. In fact, with what has happened now, with this COVID-19, every person is eager to do something.
All right, then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. I've got 2 more minutes left on the clock, and so I'm going to take one last call, and then I will take my leave. And who's the lucky last caller? Not 5.1 FM.
Hello, good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yeah, gone are those days when they say the youth are not serious.
What's your name? Let's start from there.
My name is Kingsley. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Oh, Kingsley, welcome.
Yeah, if you go to the advanced society, you find out that the level playing ground is already created by the government.
All right.
And so any potential candidate that does something extraordinary easily will be found. Today, Facebook is saying they want to create an open space to see people that can create apps. If Facebook got in that environment to excel, come be able to do that. And this administration came to be. Please, can you do one thing or one youth that you can see that has benefited from what they have done and taken us to the next level? There are so many of us. We are a producing nation. We can produce.
All right.
In 2004, what stopped my job was into yam flour. This government exported more than 40 feet containers.
All right.
440 feet containers.
All right.
If you remember.
All right.
And they all sank and got full of yam.
Sorry, we've got to go. I'm sorry. I get your point. The government is not doing enough, but we've got to go. I've got to hand over to Wealth Wilson. She's going to bring you the news update too. And after the news update, she's going to... What are you talking about? Can you give me a glimpse of what she's not answering me? She's not answering me. All right, thank you very much for being a part of the show. Let's do this again next week, Tuesday. Andre Gadji, I beg your pardon. And of course, we will be talking to a lecturer probably as we look at the part 2 of what are we teaching our children. Stay tuned.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good afternoon. Here is the news update in Today 95.1 FM. I am Wealth Wilson. President Muhammadu Buhari is presiding over an emergency national security meeting at Aso Rock Presidential Villa in Abuja. Although the detailed agenda of the meeting is not available, it is expected to review the current state of insecurity in different parts of the country. Present at the meeting are Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambadi, and National Security Advisor, retired Major General Babagana Mungunu. Also in attendance are Ministries of Defense, retired Major General Bashir Makashi, and Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Oyema. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Loki Rabo, Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Zaburu, Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Ishaka Amo, and the new Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya, are also present in the meeting with the President and the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, amongst others. The House of Representatives say it will, within 10 days, investigate the factors responsible for the federal government's decision to ban Twitter in Nigeria and the laws upon which the actions are based. The Speaker of the House, Femi Bajabiamila, in his opening address at the plenary on Tuesday, noted that the microblogging platform had become a huge communication tool and a platform for enterprise, especially for the teeming youths in the country. Bajabiamila also noted that the lawmakers have been overwhelmed with protests and demands for intervention by the parliament. The speaker, however, noted that the House also needs to hear from the government, especially the Ministry of Information and Clear Directive suspending the social. At least 3 persons were killed during an attack by bandits along the Kaduna-Zaria highway in Igabi, local government area of Kaduna State. The bandits were said to have invaded Donkin village near the highway on Monday and started shooting sporadically, and in the process killed 2 residents of the area. The Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security, Nigerian Army, moving towards the highway from Sharu village in Kerewa area. Arwan said the troops, acting on credible intelligence on the bandits' movement, laid an ambush and intercepted them at Lamba Zango and Hawan Kwaranza villages, where bandits were engaged in the fierce firefight, resulting in them suffering several casualties. The bandits also killed an unidentified male traveler and later raided Mashashia and Faguza villages, from where they stole some livestock and other valuables. On a foreign scene, the United Kingdom government's main website was unavailable on Tuesday morning as several international media platforms went down, including The Guardian and the Financial Times newspaper. The portal gov.uk and the media sites all showed error messages. The BBC was also temporarily inaccessible but later returned. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget to take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap and running water. Avoid touching your face and eye contact surfaces to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Once again, good afternoon. I am Wealth Wilson and thank you for listening. Do stay tuned. Today's hustle comes up shortly.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Kidnapping, assassination, every day.
Hope is one of the main guiding force in the human existence. Without hope, we all cease to live. Life ends when you stop believing. The sky may be full of dark clouds, but the little red nation should not quit making the rounds. Away from the issue about the Twitter suspension, the envoys that, had a meeting with the federal government and the decision of the House to also investigate why the government decided to suspend Twitter and get reports in like 10 days. I mean, a whole lot. We're going to be looking at something really, really important. If you remember, sometime early this year, we had gotten, I call it a threat. We had gotten a statement, right, that we would have a shortage of food supplies to the South. Yes, if I remember correctly. And that sort of, sparked a little controversy here, there, and everywhere. And if you recall, some 2 days ago, Aliu Isa Umar, president of Nopman, I'll tell you what that is, said that they're shortening the supply of onion to the entire South again. Now, the National Onion Producers and Marketers Association of Nigeria has announced in a briefing over the weekend that the association will be shortening the supply of onion. This was announced by the president of the association, that's Aliu Isa Umar. This is coming as a result of the unrest amongst ethnic groups. In his words, now quoting, after full deliberation by the executives of the National Association of Onion, the failure of the government to respond to our cry, we have hereby reached the following decision. Number one, we're calling on the state and federal government to restore law and order in the state, and we are calling on the good people of the southern part of Nigeria to live with the Hausa community in peace. So we are only there for our lawful business. Number two, we also call on state government to collaborate with federal government to set up a committee to investigate the incident that leads to loss of life and properties of Onion Association of Nigeria members. He therefore stated that if the government fails to adhere, we, now quoting him, we are shortening the supply of onion to the entire South. During the press briefing, he also made it known that this will be effective on Monday, 7th June 2021. Now, first of all, for those people who do not know, today It's not 7th June. Today is 8th. Right, so we would be getting your direct interface with the markets. I mean, if you've gone to the markets, you try to purchase, whether in wholesale or retail onion, let's get to know how it's looking like. Are we having a shortage anytime soon? That's what we're going to find out first off. But then we're also going to extend this discussion into 4 other matters that are really important and imperative that we discuss or talk about in this country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've always been talking about agricultural diversification. We've been talking about how the Niger Delta can become sufficient on its own, self-sufficient in the production of farm produce, whether we're talking rice, whether we're talking any kind of food produce at all in this part of the world. We've been talking about how this region can become sustainable on its own, not over-reliant, right, but at least to a good percentage able to feed or cater for the buying and selling of food and food produce within the area for a majority of the people. At least say 60% of the people in the region would be food sufficient in the area. We've been talking about that time and time. Government come in and government go. Every time there is a campaign, they keep on telling us that that's what they're going to be looking at. They're going to be looking at how to boost agriculture in the region or in the states that they're vying for. And I've been wondering, have they really been able to achieve anything? Have they really been able to achieve anything? Is my question for the day today. Remember, I said that we're going to be looking at the different issues that surround agriculture and the threats, not just by the onion producers, Nopman. We're also going to be looking at the threat of food scarcity in the south, the southeast, the south, if nothing is done to boost agricultural production and manufacturing here in the region. Now, I don't know if you guys know that there are countries that are purely reliant on and agricultural produce in the world. I don't know if you know that. We have a good number of countries, African countries included. Let's not deceive ourselves. Nigeria is not on that list. Let me already break that to you. So in case I'm giving you a list of countries, do not expect to hear Nigeria as my top 10. Right? In fact, top 10, Nigeria is not even close to. So let's relax on that one. Now, there are countries that are very reliant on the agricultural produce and manufacturing, and they're doing very well. They are doing very well. They didn't start out great, just like Nigeria, but then they were able to introduce different mechanisms that helped them to boost and foster agricultural development and advancement within their countries. And now, they are major exporters of agricultural produce globally. Now, I won't be having this discussion alone. I mean, usually, before I even come here to talk about anything, I usually just talk with my colleagues and friends, and I'm like, okay, this is what I want to talk about, or this is what I saw. Not necessarily what I want to talk about. I saw this while I was reading the newspaper, and I'm like, you guys, have you seen this? And then we start to banter, and it's usually fun. And sometimes I drag them on here so that we can have further that conversation, and other times I do it for myself. Today I've succeeded in dragging one person in to the studio. She wanted to be here anyway. Let's not make it look like I pushed you down here. I have with me Chiwendu Onye. Good afternoon,
Wealth. Good afternoon.
Well, Wendy is not just a producer, she's a political analyst as well, and her in-depth knowledge about the political sphere and style of governance and governance, governing practices in this region and in the country have made for a good conversation when we're talking about this particular issue. So I felt we could continue from where we stopped on the show. Now, Wendy, I was talking about countries that are reliant or have been able to create agricultural sustainability for themselves. I mean, they're not just able to feed a good population of people within their countries, but they've been able to also export. And this is as a result of the agricultural advancement and mechanisms that they put in place for new inventories and innovations that would help them have not just seasonal production of farm produce, but all year round production. And I'll be giving you a list of these countries first off before we even start to talk about the issues of Nigeria, right? Countries such as China. China makes number 1 on that list. I'm going to be telling you 10 best agri countries that are producing the best food commodities in the world. Number 1, we have China. China has 7% of arable land. With that, they feed 22 of the world's population.
Wow.
Now, if you recall, in the 20th century, China struggled to feed its large population. Remember, it's a populous nation,
Definitely.
right? I mean, having a population of over about 3 billion, right? And you're wondering, I mean, that's pretty much half of the world, right? That's what we're talking about. And that's why they had to bring in the whole population and birth control thing policy.
But now, you know,
China.
they've increased it to you can now have 3 children.
I mean,
now.
they've been able to religiously follow through with the government's policies that would help them check population growth. But we're not looking at their population now. We're looking at how they moved from the 20th century, where they struggled to feed a large population of their citizens, to being the how do I explain? Number one agri countries in the world. I mean, China feeds 22% of the world population. 22%. Now, why did they make it, that well in agriculture? We'll be talking about that as well. But then, just so you know, China's land is highly employed for agriculture. Vegetables are planted in China, on the roads and on many buildings. In 1949, China lost 1/4 of its arable land. And now 10% of the 15% of China's land is allocated for agriculture alone. Now, 545,960 square kilometers of land is irrigated in China. China is the largest rice-producing country in the world. With this, they produce soybean, they produce wheat, millet, sorghum, and corn. We have the United States. The United States is known for its agricultural science and provides some advanced agricultural technology in the world, right? It proves a role model for many countries in the agricultural sector, and the United States agriculture is developing continually with increasing rates. Now, agriculture in the United States, number one, the United States expanded by 5% every year after 1990. In addition to this, the production of every farming worker increased by 0.84% every year. The United States produces the highest amount of timber. Approximately 70% of the country's forests officially owned by bounded logging permits. And the United States is the net exporter of agricultural commodities. As at 2007, the agricultural census recorded 2.2 million farms covering an area for agriculture only in the United States. Now, their major crops are sugarcane, potatoes, coffee, sugar beets, and banana. Then we have Brazil, and then should I give a breakdown? Brazil is historically one of the best agricultural countries in the world globally, on which its economy is based anyway. Now, around 41% of the total land is agricultural, is just for agricultural occupation in Brazil. It has an entire land of 2.1 billion acres, and area occupied by farming is almost 867.7 million acres in Brazil. I mean, we go on to talk about what they're known for in terms of what crops they produce, and majorly known for in terms of exports. And you mentioned soybean, you mentioned oranges, you mentioned coffee, you mentioned ethanol, you mentioned beef as well. And then you go to other countries: India, Russia, France, Mexico, Japan, Germany, Turkey. And then when you come to Africa, we have countries in Africa that are, known for major exports of agricultural produce within the African continent. I mean, you're talking South Africa, you're talking Tanzania, Morocco, you're talking Egypt, and even Ghana. Had to put that in there because, I mean, as at 2020, I think they were the highest export on cocoa, if I remember correctly. Now I'll just check that and confirm. Now, I thought it was very important for us to mention a good number of countries that have gradually moved and settled properly in agricultural production and export, and now not just heavily reliant on it, so much so that they've put enough effort into putting the right mechanisms and ensuring that they have the right policies that would drive agricultural advancements. We're not just talking about the mechanized farming that we're still struggling with here in Nigeria. We're talking about having, soil scientists come together, experts come together, and look for other inventories that can help them have all year production of seasonal produce. So in Nigeria, right? We have different times and seasons when we eat different crops and different, farm produce. I mean, there are times when you go to the market and you want to buy tomato,
they tell you,
and they tell you it's not in season yet. Or you want to buy pepper and they tell you, this small one is all you can have for this amount, and outrageous amounts, by the way. And then they tell you it's because it's not in season. You want to buy fruits. I mean, it's not every time you eat mango. I mean, mango is in season now. Very soon it will go out of season, and then you won't be able to buy those anymore.
Wealth, all of those things, it's not magic. It's not magic. Being number one on the list of the highest food producers in the world, it doesn't just happen
overnight.
For example, you made mention of Tanzania. They are one of the countries here in Africa who are doing very well when it comes to agriculture. When they got their independence in 1961, their president, Julius Nyerere, came up with something called the Ujamaa villagization project, where it turned their economy around and made them less dependent. Now you had a lot of villages planting, going into agriculture. And this is one of the reasons why they have maintained that position over time. Though some government
Successive government,
it affected it to an extent, but still they have remained on top. Now, if we let's come back home here in Nigeria. Over time, both pre-colonial and post-colonial, we've heard so many agricultural policies and things implemented rather. We've had Operation Feed the Nation by Olusegun Obasanjo. We've had a whole lot of them. And now, this news coming from the president of onion producers, this is coming directly to us. He's saying we are not going to send to the South. Now, why the South?
Before we even start to answer why the South, let's answer the question of how come within the South, or just the Niger Delta, let me not even start adding the East into this discussion now. Let's say in the Niger Delta, how come we haven't been able to put in the efforts that we see being put in the North in terms of production of food commodities? I mean, we have land. Land is not the problem.
Yes.
We have experts. We have soil scientists here, there, and everywhere. You go to our different schools, we have different soil scientists everywhere.
Yeah.
So can we not have facilities dedicated to coming up with new inventories and different innovations as to how we can have seasonal planting of different food commodities
besides,
and never run out of them?
Now, that's the question when it comes to education. You have people go to school, study for how many years, and yet they can't even practice.
Or the government does not give them an enabling field to practice.
Over time, I was making a study going over the policies over the years when it comes to agriculture, and I've seen that it has been focused. It has been focused more on the North than the South. Even you see government, even when we had military regimes and they have agricultural policies and implemented them, it was focused more on the North. So now, we in the South have become comfortable with not producing so much doing so much in agriculture.
So much so that we're now over-reliant on the North.
Yes, we're now over-reliant on the North. And they've taken it to themselves like, this is what we like. Now, in the South, let's ask this question. How many people out there will be proud to say, I am a farmer? We are falling in love with white-collar jobs. Now, if you go to our villages, they are empty. People are not there. Yes, we are welcoming industrialization. Technology is good, but come on, what happens at home? Land is not our problem in the South. Land is not our problem, and education is not also our problem, because we have people who are educated who know how to do it. And also, the government too is not the problem, because we can't continue to put the blame on the government. What are you doing as an individual?
No. I don't think I would agree when you say the government is not the problem.
Because we know the government has a role to play in it. But as much as, yes, we are blaming the government for it, when you look at, you go when you move out of Nigeria and you look at all these countries, the United States, what makes you think that it's just the government playing a role in this? People are also putting and saying, okay, yes, I want to be a farmer. I want to do this for a living. Now, last year, in 2020, the government said, the CBN said, okay, we're going to give out loans for agriculture. How many people went for it? How many people went out for those loans to say, okay, I want to do agriculture? Beyond the government, if individuals can also decide to say, okay, I want to do something in this field. Well, sometimes we feel that there is no future, there is no money. Now, people are doing things for money beyond passion, beyond what needs to be done. You want to work where you can get money quickly and fast. But still, let's bring it back home. Food is very, very important. It's something we need. It's something we can't do without. And onions, come on. There is virtually nothing we make that we do not put onions. So they saying this to us.
I mean, first off, I mean, when I did see this particular headline, the first thing that came to my mind was, at this point in time, do we still have to be over-reliant on any region whatsoever for anything? Now, I mean, the North even over-reliant on the South for agricultural commodities, and the South, that's vice versa. Should we not have state governments that would work hand in hand to ensure that there is some sort of advancement put into the diversification into agriculture that we talk about?
True.
We have too many policies that are yet to be implemented, and we have too many basic policies that would not see a speedy implementation at all, or a speedy growth in that particular sector.
This is one of the things that that saddens me when I think about the political system in Nigeria, because they put in policies, like this government puts in a policy that is working, and this new government comes in, and just because you are coming with your own agenda, true, that doesn't mean you should throw away things that are working that will be beneficial to the people. Then you see government come and go, and you're having new policies. Then what happens to the other policies? And don't forget, mind you, whenever these policies are put out there, when they want to be implemented, money is being released. Sometimes they even go borrowing. So what happens to all the resources that have been geared towards those areas?
Good question. Well, we're going to open the phone lines now. If you want to send in your messages, 0701-9339-962. Remember, 2 questions I'm asking. What's stopping us from applying innovation and inventories into the agricultural practices here in the South? Why are we still over-dependent on the North for everything? I mean, the North pretty much supplies us yam.
Everything.
Pretty much supplies us pepper and tomato, onion,
carrots, garbage, vegetables,
every single thing that we practically use in this region, we get from the North in terms of supply. So can we not have inventories and different mechanisms put in place by the government to make the South at least self-sufficient
when it comes to food
or
production,
be able to cater for the food needs of at least 60% of the people? Why can't we do it? We have soil science experts. We have agriculturalists in the South.
True.
We have people who are also willing to dabble into agriculture as well if the terrain is smooth.
And you know, last year during the pandemic, where there was a lockdown, we saw how we struggled. Onions was like gold last year, and now it's not coronavirus, it's not the pandemic affecting us now. This is a direct backlash. We are not giving this to you.
And then, you know, that brings me to the second question. Why the South? They're talking about insecurity and cases of clashes between people of different regions. The West, we've seen too many clashes as well. I mean, you want to talk about the farmer herders clash. You want to talk about the tension as well that is brewing around that area.
Everywhere.
So why the South?
Why the South?
I mean, doesn't it sound a type of way? Doesn't it heighten the tension already within the country? And then thirdly, my third question is, what would be the implication of shutting food supplies to the South? Wouldn't that be like an accelerated hunger strike or streak for the South? I mean, remember, we're already talking about the rate of hunger and poverty that would increase as a result of the poor economic policies as well as the economic state of the country generally. Now, imagine what that would do for a region that is somewhat dependent on another.
So dependent.
For their food commodity supplies. Let's get to hear from you now. Remember, the numbers you will send your messages to SMS or WhatsApp 0701-9339-962. Calls to the number 0817-00000951 or 0810-9510-951. 95.1 FM. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello, I'm hearing you.
Yes, what's your name?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What's your name?
My name is Israel.
Great to have you, Israel. Please go on.
Yes. Okay. When you look at this South, some part of South, I can say they are not to put their mind for agriculture. They are looking about the oil. So they're looking, some people are looking at a farmer like a real poor man, real poor people, which is not like that. My sister, when you are talking about rice right now, do you know that this Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Bayelsa, they can produce rice more than north because of we have enough water here than north. Are you getting me?
Mm-hmm.
Most of this rice that they are planted in the north, they are getting this rice. It's all right, but in River State we have a lot of water in this south, but we can't see anybody there in all these aspects except oil company, and bank. So it's a very big problem that we need to look into this other area so that start from the beginning of this country. No, they are not forget about agriculture. What happened to us when the Ministry of Agriculture have budget? They are shared to the whole Nigerian state. What our home governor in each state they are using that money for?
All right then.
Thank you
Very much. I think it's a very, very important question we must ask ourselves.
True.
I mean, don't you think it's time for state government, Rivers State government, Akwa Ibom State government, to ensure or put together a facility that would encourage new inventions or advancements within agriculture? Soil scientists can come in and check the soil the topography of of an area and check how they can replicate a system that would help us not depend on seasons to have food commodities. I mean, you go to the US and they don't tell you when you want to buy strawberries or oranges that it's not the season.
It's not in season.
I mean, we're not in season of oranges, so you can't have oranges. I mean, they've been able to devise a means that would help them have sustenance on different food. I mean, you can just choose maybe 2 food commodities that you would work on as a government, and it works, honestly. 95.1 FM.
Hello. Right.
Hello, good afternoon.
Well, how are you? Good afternoon.
You're welcome, Gift.
Yeah. Your other colleague in the studio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Your colleague was trying to put you through. You say, no, you will not agree. You're talking about government. I disagree with you this afternoon. When we were growing up, there was nothing like government talk. At your backyard, either one water leaf or you talk about planting, like here in Bayelsa. Up till now, like today, Tuesday, I know what's played out. People from the northern part that you're talking about, they came to a particular place where Bayelsa people used to send their things, their goods, which is in their market, today, because my wife just came back from market. It was truck upon truck. Forget about this deceit that the people from the southern part are not farmers. They are not doing anything. It's a big lie. Come to Indiana market. Come and see 911 trucks that are taking goods from Niger Delta. When they talk about the southern part, it's not just south, southwest. According to the guys that are hungry, that southeast and southwest. In south, nobody has harmed any of them. But because of what they are doing to either the Igbo guys or the Yoruba people. Look at what happened at Baraka. Then you will tell me that people will not retaliate. Then when they retaliate at the end of the day, you will tell me that you don't want to send the onion down to the either southeast or southwest or southern part. What have people done to them that you don't want to send? And it's not by force. Your goods they will just rot away.
But they'll be able to send to other places as well.
Too.
I mean, there's export chances as well.
Let me tell you now, the whole thing is about the northern part. You talk about Benue, you talk about Jos, they will circulate it within the north because they say southern part. We have anything southern part is the Yoruba people. Then you talk about the Niger Delta people, then you talk about the Easterners.
All right, good.
People that they are targeting. But let me disabuse the mind of people. We are farmers, we are still farming. They came today to still buy things. They don't even have gari. It is the southern part people that are even supplying them gari.
All right, Gift.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
very much.
You know, he said something about steel farmers. But then again, if you check the countries that I tried to, put forward earlier, I mean, they don't just do subsistence farming.
Farming alone.
I mean, there are different mechanisms that they're putting in place to ensure that agriculture has a new face.
Incorporating science and technology into it.
So is it the same thing we're replicating
and
here?
I also wanted to throw a question to him now. You see, your family in Myanmar, do you plant every single kind of crop that we eat? Are you trying to say that if the north cuts out and say they're not just going to stop with onions, they're going to cut down their supply for virtually everything? How would we survive?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, what's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Peter, calling from Port Harcourt.
It's great to have you, Peter. Please go on.
Just like somebody talk, that language always caution people. I hate retaliation. Any word that uses the word retaliation, they will retaliate. Either they retaliate or we retaliate. I hate that language.
All right.
Mostly in the time of killing and destruction.
All right, go
on. Now you look at agriculture. Agriculture is something our people we are doing those days. But as time goes on, there is one adage people used to say. They say when they see something bigger than farm, they will say that bang. You see, that means where than the farm. If they see something way big past their farm, then go tell their yam bang. They're not going to tie yam again. So anything agriculture, they will abandon it and go higher. People discover that maybe business is bigger than that agriculture. Because sometimes they plant cassava will last for 1 year, but to somebody flying a car can even pay house rent, pay school fees, and that 1 year of your cassava you left there may not even get up to that one that is flying a car. You can use it to many things, and somebody is waiting for 1 year. Now, despite that, if you come over here, most of our people here, nobody is agriculturist. Even the learned ones, even people who did agriculture in the school. You look at some farm, arable places, people are not farming. Even when I was traveling from Omagwa to Elele, I saw some farm lying fallow. Nobody is going there. If not that, some people now are occupying them. But yet, there are a lot of places whereby all these politicians, councillors, you don't depend only when people mention government. Are you talking of federal government? Are you talking of state government? Are you talking of local government? People always mention government. We have half of that, like some people at the various local government headquarters, the chairman, they can even decide to do that. Even councillors, even some honorable men at Senate and the rest, they can do that. But every time people keep on lamenting, if people should volunteer, themselves, and they have a very large farm and employ people, I think this will be going well. Over here, we don't work, no farm, even carrots, we don't have. Garden egg, put garden egg, no way. All these eatable things, nothing. We depend on them. Somebody mentioned in Indiana, you see, it's just because any place you see farming very well, that place have not developed. I challenge you, tell the truth. Any place you see good in agriculture, mostly.
Hello?
Just like you mentioned in Bioma, any place you see good in agriculture in this our side, they have not developed. Now, most of the places now we see bringing a lot of things, they have not developed. It's only every place that developed. We are good farmers, but as time goes on, things change, development come. You see them, they decline. That is how it is.
All right.
Please let everybody know what to do.
So all right, then. Develop. All right, 95.1 FM.
Yeah, well, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Commander Lutu calling from Bayelsa.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I want to clear something. I don't know why people believe it's only the north that is farming. Just like what my brother Gift said, Bayelsa is farming a lot.
Compare in terms of percentages, the supply from one region to another, in terms of the different food commodities. Bayelsa feed the south.
You know how many things they are taking away from Impiama and Varama market in every week? Come down to Sabagria. There is no day apart from Sunday. Every day is a market day in Kolokmopokma. Come down to those communities, see what they are taking out. Is it curry? Is it snail? Fish? Plantain? Even the potato you are eating in River State. 2/3 of the potato is coming from Bayelsa. Go and investigate.
Let's talk about other produce as well. Let's talk about the other ones. Tomato, onion. Let's talk about tuber of yam.
We have yam. That's what I'm telling you.
I am saying, can you compare them in percentages? That's the question. Can you compare them in percentages?
See, if you feel we cannot compare them, it is because people believe they want to do white collar job. By the way the things are going this way, it's even better. People will go back to their roots. My grandfather has rubber as a farm, cocoa as a farm, opposite Stanford. Because we believe we want to do white collar job. Let them suffer so that we go back to our roots. We have land.
All right then.
I don't believe that thing.
All right then. That's for you. But then, the thing is, if by percentages we have more production in terms of agricultural commodities that come in or that travel in and out of this country, and we have more supplies coming from the north and the north central to the south. I am not saying that we do not also supply these commodities as well,
back to them,
vice versa. But then
comparing
percentage of production, right? Yeah. And then you check if there would be any negative implication if one region tells you that they would shut down all supplies to the south. And then we're not also just looking at that. We're also looking at state government, federal government that talk about diversification into agriculture. Have they been able to employ the very basic things such as technology and experts, soil scientists and experts come into that particular sector to look for other advancements?
And even beyond soil scientists, we have mechanical engineers coming up with equipment, the government supporting them. We're so dependent. Now, if someone says, okay, I want to start mechanized farming, I want to do it on a large scale. Now you begin to think of importing big farm equipment outside. So it's just like it's an ugly, vicious cycle of dependence.
We're not really even trying to diversify in the first place. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Udemo Samuel.
You're welcome, Udeme.
Yeah. If Northern want to go away with their food, let them go away with their food. They are not interested with their onions.
Do we have state governments within the region who have successfully advanced the agricultural sector in the region?
They have been killing people. Yes, we don't.
Do we have state governors within our region?
With their onions.
All right, 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Steve Mugo. I'm coming from Port Harcourt.
You're welcome. Please go on.
Please, let me throw a little light on this production from what somebody said, 2% said from Bayelsa. Go to Yenegua market each of these days. These people coming from Abuja, all the north, the trader there, plantain was costing 20,000 naira for a dozen. People from that side are going to buy for 40,000, 50,000. So that if people from part of this place want to go to bed, before you go there, they say, there are people from Abuja have come. So this is a very serious matter. I think Bayelsa, or they have a comparative advantage. Everything can be planted around this zone, but what we have here, if people develop, you go to develop something good, but don't just neglect, say, what's the country, comparing the quantity with what's on the ground. It's not so.
Okay. All right, thank you. Another reason why I was even trying to compare in terms of percentages is because, when you go to places like Abuja that he just mentioned, and you want to buy certain food commodities, you find how cheap they are. When we were in school, we used to literally give one of our friends who stays in Abuja monies to bring food stuff down from Abuja to Uyo for us. And that's to tell you, that's to just point the obvious to you, that it's taking like a more serious livelihood for these people over there than we take it seriously here. Not necessarily that we don't do it here, but how do we do it? Do we have advanced methods? Do we have more persons who are going into mechanized agriculture? Do we have investors who are coming into either research or further production in agricultural produce here in the region? It's a question that we're simply asking.
And it's amazing how people have lost so much money trying to do different things on different platforms when there are other things that are legit.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Emma from Ewafin.
Welcome, Emmanuel.
Yes. You see this northern side saying that they will not supply any onions from their side to this place. My dear, you see, God made it where there is no way. there must be a way. It's just like when you are resided in Port Harcourt now, you say, hey, if I leave Port Harcourt to another state, I would also. It's fine. God bless everywhere. It depends. You see, when you are begging somebody, or you see that this person is so important more than others, the person will continue treating you the way he or she likes. If they want to stop to supply all this, let them stop it. We will wake up by force. Thank God they will have a good soil, yeah? See, let me tell you, if this will happen now, everybody wake up. You will see government of this our side. They must wake up, and there is land.
But do we have to wait till it gets bad for us to wake up?
Individually, like what the Bayelsa guy said. If you go to Bayelsa, they produce so many things. So
okay,
it's because of government. Government did not even care about them. But if such a thing happen now that Hausa refuse to supply anything this side, every government must wake up, and we will sustain even the little one. And now the northern side, we see that most of the things they produce, we consume it more than them. Outside the fries too. Have you seen any northern man fries?
Well, that's not even the problem. It's a business, and they're taking advantage of it. If you make stew more, why don't you produce the things that you need for the stew? Since you have the land. 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Jude.
Welcome, Jude. Please go on.
Yes, we're talking about the mechanized farming. Where are you going to do the farming now? Now we need it all now. Have you visited or even some places in Ebony and Opala and Ahoda, in River State, where you find out that these people roaming from one bush to another. If you see where this number feeds, no single grabs in India. And we've been talking about this, and nobody's saying anything.
The state government not been doing anything about farmer and herders clash?
They are not doing anything.
They've been trying to put laws and policies in place. You can't say they're not doing anything. Now, one other thing that we failed to mention away from food commodities are the fact that livestock as well, livestock production,
meat.
A good number of the meat consumed here in the south is as a result of the businessmen who are into livestock production and cattle rearing from the north. So I'm saying, not necessarily saying that we don't have any investors into livestock from the south, but then have we been able to do it in a way that can push for better advancement so that we are no longer reliant on season for production of food commodities in the south? And we are no longer reliant on whether or not any region decides to send food to us.
Like, if you begin to count, even ginger, there are so many things that it's all like, you have one of the states in Nigeria called the food basket of the nation. It's not anywhere in the south. I think we have to wake up. I want to read this, a quote by Raul Presbick. He said something. He talked about dependency. Now, we talk about the core and the periphery. As much as we look at this when it comes to importation of things and in other sectors, we talk about how Nigeria is too dependent in importing this and that and that. Even now, back home, the South have become too dependent on the North. And gradually, the same things that are playing out in the international sphere are beginning to happen to us right here in Nigeria. We have to wake up to this. We don't have to come to the point where they say no.
All right. So let's read some messages on WhatsApp. This person says, the way you are avoiding my call, Wealth, did you mark my number? How is that even possible? Like, I don't even know who calls. I just see a beep and I take it when I'm not talking. Let's see. This person says, good afternoon, Today FM. Please, let's stop overflogging the issue of North being the one supplying us food. It's a lie. Most of the countries in Europe do not farm, yet they have all they want. Mind you, Benue is where most of the food comes from. Please, let's look beyond what we see on the surface. That's coming from IK. Well, IK, a good number of the European countries are agricultural, like they have core agricultural advancement. Mention some. I mean, I told you France, I told you Germany, the
Turkey,
UK,
Russia.
I mean, so what are you saying at this point? This person says, Wealth, my question is, why are you worried about some onion supply boycott? Says, give me a break. Seriously, I'm not bothered. We all know that they need us more than we need them. Let them produce and eat it now, if they can. And that's coming from Newton Ikere. I would read some of the SMS. before we take some more calls, this person says, let them not threaten, let them not supply their onion to the south forever. Let's see how many people would die as a result of not eating onion. After all, I have not eaten onion for 6 months now, and I've not been admitted in the hospital. And that's coming from Mr. Law. This one says, good day, guys. The North wants to take over everything in Nigeria. That's why. Okay. Amechi Christian, I don't know where you're getting your facts from, so I can't even read those. 95.1 FM. Hello? Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, what's your name and where you're calling from?
Charles.
Charles.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Charles.
So they say they want to hold their onion. Hello?
Yes, we're with you.
Can they preserve it? Because some of their members were killed or got injured in South, so therefore they want to hold their onions. So they want to tell us that the life of our people being killed every time by herdsmen is not important. Let them hold it till forever if care is not taken.
All right,
okay, thank you.
All right, then. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel, calling you from Konoy, Nabaru.
You're welcome, Emmanuel.
Yeah, if the Northerners decide not to bring their onions in this south and south, there's no problem. But adage in my village said that means that best way they buy and a king, best way they sell and a king too. So there is no problem. Back in the days where I come from Imo State, our land is so fertile. We plant onions, plant pepper, plant ugu leaf, plant bitter leaf, plant yam. Yeah. So we normally go to market and buy only fish or meat. So if they decide to go away with their onions or their meat, don't have any problem with them. So we now go back to our roots to start planting those things. And it's like this year, my mother started planting all those things now. So if they decided to go away with their food, there's no problem. We are okay.
All right.
That's no problem.
All right then. I think I was thinking that this conversation would look, even beyond the sentiments and look at government and different policies put in place that can help us advance even more in agriculture. Are you not tired that your mothers or brothers or sisters or anybody that you have as relative that's into agriculture is still doing it the old-fashioned way, when across the world people have started looking for ways that they can plant different commodities for all year round, not based on seasons? They've been able to tell what soil is better and how to even propagate cultivation, even make it even easier for people who are into agricultural practices. I mean, these are things that we're supposed to even be talking about, but
is it not even sad?
But then a good number of you are pretty much centered on the sentiments of whether it's coming from the north or even coming from the south. 95.1 FM.
Hello?
Hello?
Am I on 95.1?
Yes, what's your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Woji. Please, are you hearing me? Hello?
Go on.
Hello? What I want to contribute is that you know very well that farmers in the south are being disturbed by herders, and most of the policies you mentioned, somebody said something about cattle disturbing their farms. The policies that the government make every now and then, they don't follow it up. Recently, they said there is ban on open grazing. Have they followed it up? They don't. And how do you know how to mechanize farming in a place where cattle will not allow you to do something? That is a question I want you to answer, please.
All right, then. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Engineer Victor from Rome. Yeah, if they say they don't want to bring their onions and other things, no problem. Even in my backyard there in Rome, where I live, I bought land and villas there. Pepper, everything, I plant them in my backyard. So, we have good fertile soil. We should not be depending on these people. If they do that, we from the Niger Delta will stop our oil from going to their place. They cannot survive without Niger Delta oil.
All right,
that's one of the funniest things I've heard so far. You stop your oil. How are you going to do that? There's no way that's even going to happen. So just forget about that. That's
all
not
right.
possible.
Let me read some messages. This person says, "Greetings, Wealth. I wanted to go into cassava farming, but no land because of flood, and that's coming from Odiadi. Positive test. Okay,
Wealth. Now, a lot of people have called and they're supporting and saying, yes, we farm here. Now, let me ask this question. How cheap? Now, what's even the proof that we are doing so much, that we're producing so much, when even Gary is so expensive? And it's something that we produce here.
All right. Well, I'm thinking that people are not looking beyond that. Because, I mean, if we're producing a lot of food commodities, you want to believe that the price would probably be cheaper than what you have.
Cheaper than what you have.
You go to on Wednesdays when we have business today, people call in and tell you that you go to the market, you can barely buy anything. And then you're telling me that agricultural advance, and when we're supposed to talk about it, you're all focused on the sentiments of whether we should forget about the north and stop supplying oil. Well done. All right, this person says, my sister in the studio, you guys are doing too much. Okay, you guys are too much. This is a signal for everyone to wake up. Farm onion is not the only important crop. True, but then have we been able to make do or make better our production in the south? Big question, very big question. Chris is still saying that I've been ignoring his call. I don't know how you want me to explain this, but we basically do not see the numbers that call in. We just pick the calls, okay? 95.1 FM.
Yeah, good afternoon. Well,
Chris.
Yeah.
Finally.
Okay. It's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Well done. I thought it was considered. Let me this onion that they are telling us they are not bringing, what is their annoyance? I think what is happening in the north at the same thing is happening, and moreover, they are not bringing it free. In my own village, you will farm. If you go there, we do see 911 from the north. People from north will come and load those things and go back to this thing. So some of the yam you see, not even from north. Let me just say, from Ibo, in Enugu yam, ask anybody. They do come there and load it with 20 trucks of 911. So they are
all right, Chris. All right.
The yam is how much now? The one they are paying for us.
No wahala. All right, Chris, we've gotten your point. We have to step out now. I mean, Emeka Dena already on standby for today's Sports Live. Don't go anywhere, as it promises to be even more informing and entertaining. Sure. I did the show with Chiwendu Onye. I am Wealth Wilson. I'll be right back tomorrow.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
What a goal! Hangs it up for Ronaldo. Oh my God!
Experience the glorious goals rush. The heated verbal jabs and even moments of madness. Experience the sensational swing, strokes and shots. The moments of victory and despair. Experience lights out on a majestic night in Singapore and a whole lot more.
On your premium talk news and sports radio station.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Listen to Sports Attack every weekday from 7:30 a.m. and today's Sports Live after the news update at 3 p.m. Stay tuned on Saturdays and Sundays for a bumper edition of today's Sports Live from 1 to 6 p.m. Experience sports in its entirety on your premium talk news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wankwo, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Feel the magic in the air. Feel the magic in the air. Feel the magic in the air.
Magic System, Red One, Shaoki. Feel the magic in the air. Comme d'habitude on est calé, comme toujours ça va aller. On te met l'ambiance à gogo, tous ensemble on fait le show. On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis, c'est bien faire la folie. On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci.
All right, a very good afternoon to you all out there. Welcome to yet another exciting edition of Today's Sports Live, reaching you from the studio right here, and of course, it's Today 95.1 FM in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. Mecca is my name, the Dogu One of Sports. Not alone in the building, never walking alone here. I've got Wisdom Obina, the one we love to call the Superman who doesn't leave football for snowball. Superman, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
A beautiful afternoon to you, Emeka, and a beautiful afternoon to you listening. It's a pleasure to be back here. The Nigerian Super Eagles would hope to redeem their image when they take on Cameroon later tonight. In that, you want to say two-legged friendly between them and Cameroon. The first we had last week, and of course the one that will be coming up today. Not forgetting the interesting tidbits of the MPFL. It's great to be here, Emeka. Good afternoon to you.
All right, it's in the OT, the one and only is also in the building. Isn't it? Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Emeka. Good afternoon to Wisdom. Good afternoon to our lovely fans out there. It's great to be here. Finally, the ITO Cup is going to come back again. Emeka, it's huge.
Are you sure?
We are not sure, but at least an order has been given. So maybe I think something great may happen.
We'll wait and see. On the show this afternoon, Paul Onuachu is in the news for the right reasons once again. Yes, he's been named the best player in Belgium. Cutting home the Ebony Award. That's the African best player in Belgium, cutting home the Ebony Award. The first Nigerian to do so in 25 years. And of course, in the MPFL, Kano Pillars are back on top of the table with a 2-1 win over Enyimba at the weekend. Even as Rivers United forced Heartland to a 2-2 draw in Owerri. We have match day 25 covered here on the show. That's also the player of the week as well as the club of the week. The Super Eagles will be in action later this evening. In fact, in the next 57 minutes, they'll be fighting out against Cameroon, the Indomitable Lions. That match starts by 4 p.m. Nigerian time right there in Austria. Okay, we'll be talking about that encounter, tell you who is starting for Nigeria, what to expect and all that. And you also have the chance to have your say. Tell us what you think about the match, how you think it will end. Depleted Super Eagles side with lots of key players absent due to injuries and other reasons as it were. So that's the makeup of the show this afternoon, and we want you to be part of the discussion. The show is very interactive. You can join us via SMS or WhatsApp. That's the number there is 070 1933 9962. That's 070 1933 9962. The phone lines will be open later for you to have your say. That number will serve for both your text and WhatsApp messages, and later I'll be throwing the phone lines wide open so you can have your say. All right, let's start the show this afternoon from the home front here, talking about the grassroots, and we'll begin with the Port Harcourt City Football League, season 2 of that competition. And of course, it looks like it's match day the third round of matches underway today. 2 matches decided already. We'll tell you about them. The first one was between Port Harcourt Football Academy and Dolphins Football Academy. It ended 3-2 in favor of Port Harcourt Football Academy. They won 3-2 against Stanley Guma's Dolphins Football Academy. And of course, the second one was a blowout, I tell you. Yes, Salvation Boys demolished NAF Skyhawks 7-3. Yes, 7-3. You had that correctly. So 10 goals scored in one match. How often do you see 10 goals scored in one game of football? It happened today in the Port Harcourt City League. And of course, it was all about Salvation Boys who won by 7-3. Emphatic win there for the Salvation Boys over NAF Skyhawks. And the third match of the day is underway, and that one is between okay, I'll get that in a jiffy. That one is between Port Harcourt City and let me confirm it. Sorry, D-Line United are up against D-Line United. Are playing against Port Harcourt City Football Club. I hope I got that. Okay, no, sorry, they're playing against McJeff Football Club, McJeff Academy. Okay, so it's currently 1-1. Yes, it's currently 1-1 between those two sides in that encounter, and we are into the closing stages of that fixture. Will be okay. So no, 2-1 now. 2-1, I should say. D-Line United leading by 2-1. They scored, a goal just a few minutes ago. So they now lead by 2-1 against McJeff. Okay. So more updates will be coming in our subsequent bulletin. But Superman, you have to give it to Salvation Boys today. 7-3 against NAF Skyhawks. More like very outrageous scoreline there.
More like what Germany did to Latvia yesterday.
Okay.
So interesting, really, and it's nice to see this number of goals. I wasn't there, or I'm not there, but I'm sure for the fans who turned out, it will definitely be really interesting. One thing we know is that any game filled with goals, at least 4 or 5 goals.
What is football without goals?
It means it was interesting, yes. It means there was end-to-end stuff right there, and I really like this kind of things. And I'm looking at the previous results we've had in the competition, and it seems it definitely should be the color of the competition. It comes with goals. Even the one between these guys and Dolphins now, that had 3-2.
Yeah,
like Port Harcourt Football Academy, yes, and Dolphins. So
Abuja Football College.
5 goals scored in the process, and the one between Salvation Boys and NAF, 10 goals. So it makes it interesting.
And we've seen 3 goals already in the last fixture for today.
Really?
Yeah.
For sure. So it means those who are at the NTA complex or wherever this,
I think they're playing at the
NTA complex this time. Definitely, they would be
the treasure from NTA pitch.
They would be really enjoying this one and savoring all the excitement that do come with it. And kudos must still go to the management. They've somehow managed to continue the push, and it's really going well. I'm looking at the fixtures, and you want to believe that the standard is something to also be commended. It's more like it's not even a state thing. It's more like a very local stuff. But they've made it. The branding has really been nice. They put out fixtures. They design rosters. They give best player awards. Very nice.
They even give you match statistics.
I must really say
yes.
For Kingsley Olisa and the likes of Sanipe and the others who are behind.
the scene. Is the media coordinator. Yeah.
Very true. So kudos to them, and we do hope that this will continue. And mine is even the focus on talent development. They produced 2 or 3 players the last time in the MPFL now, and some others in the NNL and NLO. So hopefully too, some of these talents would gain more exposure with the successes they would record from this tournament.
All right, still staying with local football on the show this afternoon. Let's let you know that in view of the June 30 deadline for submission of club names to take part in the various CAF competitions for 2021, the Nigeria Football Federation has directed all football associations to produce one representative on or before 14th June 2021, with each state also producing the ITO Cup licenses. Now, at the federation level, a uniform license will be produced by the Nigeria Football Federation for the national stage of the ITO Cup competition. A national draw will be held at the date to be communicated for the 37 teams that will qualify. Now, this was contained in a letter sent to the different state FAs by the NFF's General Secretary, Dr. Mohammed Sanusi. Okay, yes, but of course the letter was signed by Wilfred Onaji on behalf of Dr. Sanusi right there. Superman, they say the deadline for submission of names is 30th June, Abi?
Yeah.
Now, 30th June. Now, the NFF have told the federations, the different states, to submit their winner by 14th of June, leaving us with 16 days to organize the ITO Cup nationwide. Can we achieve
and declare a champion?
Yes. Can we achieve that?
Well,
before 30th of June, on or before 30th of June, 16 days. We have 37 teams. That's if the teams, if the states eventually comply, get their winners before then. We will having 37 states. That's including the FCT. Teams, including the FCT. Yeah. So, do you think we'll be able to get to that level where we'll be able to play the ITO Cup this year and produce a champion that will represent Nigeria in the CAF Confederation Cup?
Well, I think it's possible, even if I think it's going to be challenging for the 37 teams now, after producing the teams now. If they do straight knockouts, I think somehow one day...
Even with the straight knockouts, there will be a mini knockout to reduce them to 32 first.
That's the first
because
thing.
They are 37. So if you divide them into two, you won't have an even number.
Very true.
So you have to eliminate 5 teams to have 32. Go to the first knockout that will give you 16 teams. Then the second one will give you 8 teams, quarterfinal, semi-final. You achieve all that in 16 days.
Well, Emeka, I've seen worse things happen in Nigeria. I've seen cases where teams play every day just to meet up with especially these preseason tournaments. So it is very possible that they might decide to throw that option. But what it might mean will be that we will not have what we would call World D champions. We can see an Imba team send their third string side to go and play this tournament just to fulfill all righteousness. But I think somehow both the NFF, LMC, I think I'm just asking.
And if that is to happen too, then the league will be on break too, because there's no how you can
combine
the
two
with this. If you want to achieve that in 16 days.
Emeka, when we say submitting teams to CAF, NFF, the MPFL too will be involved, but maybe we'll get to that in time. But I think for me, it's really going to be difficult, especially for the teams and even the NFF and the LMC. But we'll throw the blame games again because this would mean that just like we've had Canupilas now go to represent us over the last 1 or 2 seasons. Without kicking the ball.
Because they won it in 2019.
Yes. Exactly. So it means we might have people who would call not so good enough champions at this time or worthy representatives, because we saw what Canupilas did. Because
they disgraced themselves.
Maybe they were not prepared. Although you can't put it all on that, but maybe because they were not really at the best for the job at this time, based on their current preparation and form. They didn't give us quality representation. So let's see how it pans out. But I think it's going to be really challenging to meet up in just 16 days.
Does that have anything to do with the poor organization of football in the country? That we are not getting it right, when do you, as it were? Because ordinarily they should have known that they would have done things much earlier to get to this level.
Emeka, we are not doing things right. It was before that we actually organized our football preparations were done. All these things, the dates are being stipulated, just like the EPL and other leagues in the world. You know that these things come up.
Even if you don't have a stipulated date, you should have an idea of when it will start and when it will end.
If they knew they were actually going to not give it again as a slot to Canupilas, why not actually bring out these dates?
The calendar,
you want to say, yes, they went on a long break and all, but still, administratively, we have gotten it wrong. This competition is where we get to see all these rookies come up. You get to see good players. They give room for you to get other players to see. Last time the Canupilas won it was against I think Niger Tornadoes. You don't see them in the MPFL, but they were able to get to the finals, and it's a good one. But I think we haven't gotten it right, Emeka. We're talking about the Port Harcourt League, and you see how this thing is being organized. It's not out of the blue. It's humans. It's not a rocket science. It's humans actually doing these things. They know just that. I feel we are getting it wrong. Maybe the right people are not there, or maybe the ones there, they just don't know how to put it into place. We are supposed to have gotten this. It's not a good one, but I just say, I just like Wisdom said, you never can tell. They might be able to meet the deadline. Anything can happen.
But Superman, there's also an option of still taking Canupilas back there because they are still the defending champions. We didn't play ITO Cup in Nigeria last year. They won it in 2019. That was why they played in two CAF Confederation Cup.
Yeah.
They could go a third time if we fail to meet up. They as the defending champions as it were.
And like the reputation of the competition will now be at stake. It's not looking like a hereditary stuff. And it doesn't make sense, I tell you. It's rare you see back-to-back champions in FA Cups now, all over the world.
Even in Nigeria,
talk more of Nigeria now.
It was back in the early days that you saw some teams won.
Talk more of Nigeria, even winning the league back-to-back is a challenge. Talk more of at the FA Cup where you could see teams that are not even supposed expats get the points or get through to the latter stages. So I think it would make sense if we go with the Kanu Pillar side. But Emeka, like I said, let me add, what happens to if we were to submit our teams for CAF competitions before 31st of June? What happens to the MPFL?
30th of June.
30th of June. Are we not supposed to send some representatives from the MPFL?
That's also the big question. It was deliberated upon recently, and they just kept quiet about it. Decided to continue with the league. Because the league will not end on the 30th of June. It will not even end in July.
Maybe from
the revised schedule, the league will end in August. That's
maybe
when the league is supposed to end.
They will ask for.
They will ask for the
send letter to CAF. No, maybe they will send letter to CAF
to do what?
For extension, based on the issues of COVID-19.
CAF are supposed to start the new CAF
calendar
competitions. Maybe around that kind of July, September. August, September. So so at the end of the day, if we don't have champions yet, then they will go to the previous representatives. Plateau United,
Enyimba, was the scare we had at first when this deadline came up the first time. But because somehow
because the league will not end, or maybe they will still do the PPG again at some point.
That's the whole thing. Those permutations might just come up. But I don't just know, but I feel you should try as much. It's going to be hard to end the league if the deadline actually stands and if CAF doesn't give us an extension.
We cannot meet up with the end
I think the only luck we might have, that's if other African countries at some point have not finished their own competition. Maybe CAF might want to actually consider, but apart from that, you might just see another permutation again, and it won't be good. I want the season to end. Actually, let us have worthy champions. Not even for the ITO Cup. I think it's a bad thing too for the sponsors. Or have you don't even
the sponsors have not been bringing money
because it's not
business
yielding. Business is not well. Emeka, you put your money where you get back something. They are business people. It's not a government run organization.
Okay, so we'll wait as all this drama unfold, but it's not looking good at all for our football, club football here in the country. ITO Cup, they've been the NFF have. They've mandated the various states to submit their winners. Some of these states have not even started. River State here, they've started, but they are yet to even play quarterfinals here in Port Harcourt and what have you. So at the end of the day, we will still have a very long way to go. But let's see how it pans out. This is Nigeria, and anything happens here in the country. All right, let's go to Belgium, where Paul Onacho has won the Airborne Shoe Award. Yes, the award given to the best African player in Belgium, becoming the first Nigerian to win the prize since Celestin Babayaro won it in 1996. He beat the Belgian gang teammate Theo Bonganda, the Club Brugge's Clinton Mata, and Alex duo of Lucas Mecha and Albert Sambi to the award. Now, the Airborne Shoe Award is an award given to African players or players of African origin playing in Belgium's Jupiler League. Onacho is now the fourth Nigerian to win the award after Babayaro's what's that opera name that played?
Godwin
Opara, yes, and Daniel Amokachi, who won the inaugural award in 1992. Now, the Nigerian international succeeds DR Congo's Jomesi Mbokani, who won the award last year. Now, Superman Paul Onacho backs yet another award. What is a year or what is season this man has had in Belgium?
Yeah, a rocking season, you want to say, by the Belgian league standards. It was a record-breaking one for him. You can't look to any other person. I mean, for a man who got 35 goals, I think, in 40-something appearances, pretty brilliant and decent from the man in all competitions. And I must really also add that if he was a foreigner, or if he was someone from the other side of the world, I'm sure the number of clubs that would be going for him now, some of the big names, would really be astonishing. But we're not exactly seeing that kind of chase for his signature. But even though some would argue that he's 27 now, he's turned 27 already, and he's not the youngest of players, based on the fact that most of these teams who look to these other leagues look for 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds like Lukaku and the others when they move from Belgium. But I must tell you, kudos must go to the man. somehow I just hope that he makes the best of it, because I'm beginning to feel that the song around him might die down and he might even end up staying in Belgium.
All right. Onuachu has won virtually everything. Apart from the league, his club did not win the league, but he made the top scorer, most valuable player, and now the Ebony Award, broke records right there, scoring the highest number of goals in the season in the Belgian league history. Is it now time for him to make that move away from Belgium, isn't it?
Emeka, it's time for him. You know, the Belgian league, you won't really rate it as high as the other league, like the Serie A, the EPL.
They are not among the top 5 leagues,
but
you know,
they
are
get
up
the
there
talents.
too.
They are up there too. You get the talents there. I think he needs. He has to move, because age is not on his side. He just turned 27 and he has to get a better offer. Yes, you want to say he's a gang side, he has won it, and he will know how to do better next season, because he already knows how the environment there is. But he wants to actually push forward and further. At first, we had other clubs actually coming for him. We had Lazio, Sevilla, even at some point Arsenal had an interest in him. But you want to ask, will he be able to get a good deal? Just like Wisdom said, sometimes I think the race actually plays a huge factor, plus the age of the players. If you just, I think if it was younger, maybe he would have had much more clubs coming for him, but it's not really working for him. He has actually been fantastic this season, even in national calls. Let's say during the friendly, maybe he didn't score, but
the last one he didn't score, but the previous
for
two
him.
competitive
You
games,
could see some
he scored
individual
2 goals,
brilliance for him, Emeka. He still did good. So I just hope he gets a good deal. I don't want him to remain in Genk, because it's not going to tell well for his career, because we don't know if he'll be that consistent next season. So he just has to get that move this time.
Grab the opportunity right now. The division is very loud.
Very loud. If not, it might be hard for him.
All right, let's quickly go to the Nigeria Professional Football League.
Aqua United, our darling team, our mighty team, with courageous mind, we celebrate our winning.
All right, it's all about Aqua United. Yes, head coach of the side, Kennedy Boboye, has described his team's stunning run of form as incredible. Now, the Uyo-based team made a slow start to the 2020/21 campaign, but after a match, the 10-1 loss to Nasarawa United on the 14th of February, they embarked on a 15-game unbeaten run. 8 wins and 7 draws in the process, the longest in the history of the Nigeria Professional Football League. The impressive run of form saw them surpass Enyimba's 14-match unbeaten run, as well as put them back on track for the league title, much to the delight of their manager, Kennedy Boboye. According to him, he says the 15-match unbeaten run is something we all thought of doing as a team, and we are delighted to have been able to achieve that. Kennedy Boboye, okay, speaking right there. They can even extend it further, because it looks like they're playing at home tomorrow, okay? So it means they even have the opportunity to taking it to 16, 17, maybe 20, and take it to a level where no team will be able to match it going forward. But you have to give it to Boboye. Was 4 months ago was the last time they lost a match, 14th of February, this year, and they've gone on that 15-match unbeaten run, surpassing the record of Enyimba Superman.
Exactly, and like the report that mentioned, it has brought them into reckoning again for the title. Everybody's looking at them as one of the current title favorites or strong contenders for the title. We can't also forget that they started this season intentionally. What I mean by that is that we heard Paul Bassi saying that the goal is to deliver the trophy to the governor this season, and they've pushed since then. They've brought in the players. They've also lost some players in the process, but they put in the work. They have brought in the names, and they brought in a coach too, who definitely has the pedigree to give them that kind of dream in Kennedy Boboye. He's done it in the past. He's one of the best coaches we have here in the MPFL. They brought back Mfonudo. They kept their decent players. Ndefre Kefiong fought for them for a while before leaving for Al Ali Benghazi about a month ago. So I must really commend the management of the team. They've put in the work, they've put in the name, they've put in the quality, and they've put in the management. So, no surprises. A little wonder why they are where they are. It's still a marathon. The league is not a sprint. We're still far from the end. But so far, so good for the Aqua United side.
All right. They've done brilliantly well, isn't it? It begs to ask how more how many more games do you see this team go in without losing? They have gone 15 matches without a defeat, 8 wins and 7 draws. How far do you think they can go in terms of the unbeaten run this season?
Emeka, that will now depend on them, on how ambitious can they be, because these kinds of records don't come every season. They've actually broken that of Eyimba. Now they have set their own. It depends on how much they can kill their games against the weaky Tourist side during the weekend. They were actually leading at some point, but later they actually dropped and Wiki actually equalized. And that will tell you it's still a scare too, because once they actually lose any game, these records break. And whenever this kind of thing happen, sometimes they might not be able to live to the expectation, but the promise keepers have actually been keeping up to that. They have had 8 wins, 7 draws. It's not a bad one. They're second on the table, just 2 points behind them, Kano Pillars. So they've done very well from themselves this season, despite all challenges. But getting that, I don't know, this is the MPFL. You can just see the next game, they might just stumble, they might just float.
So staying with you on that, they play Heartlands tomorrow in Uyo. Do you think Heartland can get all 3 points from them in Uyo tomorrow?
Somehow Heartland has begun to get the goals. Even their last game they did now against Rivers United, they scored 2 goals. You might say
they also considered 2 and 3. They didn't win Rivers United.
Emeka, even Aqua has actually struggled too. That they had some draws recently, followed by they drew at home against Rangers. I recall,
it's
going to be. I think it's going to be a game of many goals against an Heartland side. There's beginning of the season they did quite well. They were winning. They won Katsina United even after losing their good player Samuel Noshiri to Katsina United. They still won. Later they fumbled, but I think they are getting their
so
mojo
do you
back.
think they can beat Aqua United in Uyo tomorrow, not in Owerri?
No, they can't beat Aqua at
Okay,
all.
so Aqua will still go on that unbeaten run.
Yes, might still be a
16
draw.
matches tomorrow.
Yes.
And counting. Okay, good one for Aqua United. We'll wait till tomorrow, but in the meantime, they still have the record. 15 matches unbeaten, one better than Enyimba's previous record of 14 matches. Rabiu Ali scored his 10th goal of the season, and the 5 years they struck the winner 15 minutes from time as Kano Pillars came from behind to beat Enyimba on Sunday in a thrilling MPFL encounter the Amadou Bello Stadium right there in Kaduna. All right, Enyimba had taken the lead earlier at the stadium through Victor Mboma, and of course the visitors swung back to reckoning through Ali's equalizer from the penalty spot, his 10th of the season. Okay, that match will eventually end 2-1 in favor of Kano Pillars. And close by here at Owerri, Heartland FC played at a thrilling 2-2 draw with Rivers United at the Danayam Stadium, with Shedrack Ogali scoring twice for the visitors. Just a few months ago, he was playing for Heartland. They brought him to Port Harcourt. He scored against his former club. That was what Stephen Gope also did to Rivers United. From Rivers United, he went to Wiki, came back to Port Harcourt to score against his former side. There's something about going back to your former side, I tell
Motivation.
You. Right. So Ogali scored twice in that encounter. Meanwhile, Chijoka Kuneto and Chukwudi, one of those scored for the Heartland side. That match ending 2-2, both teams sharing the spoils right there. Eguma says it's a good result. Let's hear from him.
Well, I think it was a very good game. Even though we planned to get the 3 points here, but I think we thank God for the 1 point we got. Alang put up a very good effort, and we commend them for that too. We know that it was going to be a tough game, considering the fact that the league have gone to the most crucial stage. Every point is very vital now. So I wasn't surprised the way it happened. I commend my players for their efforts. We fought.
All right, that was Rivers United coach Stanley Egoma speaking after the match on Sunday against Heartland FC in Owerri. Ended 2-2 right there. The Shard Sports says he's satisfied with the 1 point. It's better than nothing, no doubt about that. But come to think of it, Rivers United have been struggling to win matches lately. I think it's about 4 matches now without a win for them. 2 draws at home, 2 away from home as well. And I think they even got a win against Plateau United the other time. But come on, the wins are no longer forthcoming for Eguma side. They have a massive game tomorrow in Port Harcourt against Kano Pillars. We'll talk about that later, but let's serve you all the results of matches played on match day 25 on Sunday. Adamawa United, yes, they were beaten at home 2-0 by Plateau United. It looks like Adamawa United want to go back to the NNL. They are not showing any signs of remaining in the MPFL. They keep dropping points, donating points to teams here and there. Right, they were beaten 2-0 by Plateau United. Elsewhere, Abia Warriors, their struggle continues. They haven't won since for some time now. They haven't won. I think since the resumption of the first stanza or
They
so,
haven't won.
they haven't won. They've been drawing or either
They lost one and
drew four or something. So not good one for Imama's side there. Okay, they played at 1-1 draw with FC Fanyoba. Katsina United defeated Nasarawa United 2-1. Kwara United thrashed Jigawa Golden Stars 3-0. Wiki Tourists drew 2-2 with Aqua United in Bauchi, and Kano Pillars came from behind to beat Enyimba 2-1. Warri was compounding the woes of Sunshine Stars, winning 2-1. Superman, for Sunshine Stars, how many matches unbeaten without a win now for them? Others are going unbeaten. They themselves are going without a win for 17-18 matches.
Yeah.
The last time they won a game was on the 31st of January this year. That's
terrible for the Stars.
approaching 5 months without a win.
It was not the original
I wonder how they step out of the pitch.
You see the thing here. They are looking for something in the NNL. They should go to the NNL and find that thing they are looking for.
Emeka, they just need 3 wins and they're out, or 2 wins. Safe.
And the others will be waiting for them.
Out.
The others will be waiting for them to win and remain where they are.
Out of the relegation.
Okay. Lobby Stars won for the first time away from home this season. They beat Dakada FC by 1-0 in Uyo. Rangers could only manage a 1-1 draw against MFM. They had to even come from behind to draw 1-1 with MFM. And of course, like we told you, Heartland FC played at a 2-0 draw with Rivers United. Let's quickly look at the table after match day 25. Even though Enyimba have got 3 outstanding matches, and 1 or 2 other clubs have got outstanding matches as well. Kano Pillars are top now with 48 points from 25 matches. They are followed by Aqua United with 46 points, having played the same number of matches as well. Kwara United occupy the 3rd spot on the table with 43 points. And we have Nasarawa United on 42 points, goal difference of +7. Same as Rivers United, who occupy the 5th spot with also 42 points. Don't ask me about Enyimba. I can't find them in the top 7.
No, they're in the top 7.
Okay, they're in the top 7.
And the seventh.
They're 7th on the log there, but they're not doing well. All right, let's go to the bottom for the teams now that could be relegated if the league ends today. You see, Wiki Tourists have dropped down to that position. They are 17th now on the log with 26 points. FC Fanyoba occupy the 18th spot with 22 points. Sunshine Stars are 19th on the table with 21 points. And we have Adamawa United with 16 points occupying the rear right there on the table. Adamawa United, it's okay. They want to go back to the NNL, no problem. It's their worry now.
Almost certain.
All right, Superman. Let's talk about Rivers United. Rivers United. Yes, they were able to get that impressive draw against Heartland in Owerri on Sunday. How important is that for Iguma and his team going into the title challenger? Because they look at the table, they are 6 points off the pace.
Yeah.
Yes, they have 42 points. And the leaders, Kano Pillars, have got 48. Like I said yesterday, if they can beat Kano Pillars here in Port Harcourt, it will do them a whole lot of good.
Well, every time you go away and you get a point in the MPFL, it's almost seen like a good thing, except you're traveling to face Adamawa United. If it's Heartland, beat any of the top 15 teams, and you get a point, I think too many people would not find, or maybe even maybe a very small fraction would see something wrong with it, but else it's always good news. It's always when you come back home here that what you do here becomes a problem. As a matter of fact, if all you do is win all your home games and just get points away, I can guarantee you that possibly, maybe not a guarantee, you might definitely qualify for the continent based on the toughness of the MPFL. So I think for me it was a good one going to Heartland. The Heartland side themselves, you want to say are fighting too to get back into reckoning into the top places. I said it before that game that as much as people keep telling themselves that the Heartland team, they are in chaos, they don't pay players and all that, but they are getting some decent results. Fidelis Ilichukwu is probably telling us something else, and maybe he's telling us the truth and still doing the business that he needs to do with the team. But Rivers United were able to go there and get a 2-2 draw. It was not even an easy one really, but they managed to still run out with a point. Of course, extending their unbeaten run now to 7 games, 3 wins and 4 draws. But this is where it begins to get rough. Now, when you come back home and you start drawing games against teams like Wiki Tourists and maybe Adabia Warriors, yes, it becomes a problem because we're thinking, okay, this was the second half of the season. We can maintain that 100% winning run, yes, that we were on. Then probably go away, get points like this, crucial point like this, and if possibly you meet teams like Warri Wolves and Adamawa United and Ifeanyi Ubah, you beat them silly away and grab all 3 points, all in the race and in the pursuit of the title this season. But we're not seeing that happen, and that's where I feel the problem is coming from. But for that one away, this last weekend on Sunday, I think it was good. It was good for Iguma. It was good for the lads. 2-2 it ended. Fine result. Scoring 2 goals away is not even a mean feat, but they were able to do that and come out to the point. Kudos must go to them. We now look forward to what they do at home. But what remains important for the Rivers United side has to be their their home results.
Isn't the Kano Pillars were able to get it right against Eyimba coming from behind? The Eyimba team complaining about poor officiating. You and I cannot even speak about it because we didn't see the match as it were. But that being said, the result stands 2-1 in favor of Pillars. They are top of the table, 2 points clear of Akwa United. Are you seeing them as genuine title contenders? Do you think they can win the league this season?
Emeka, when it comes to Kano Pillars and Akwa United, yes, so you call them title contenders because they have shown that consistency since the league started. Even at the restart of the league, they have always been there. They have not really fluttered so much like other teams. They go out, they win home and away. So maybe you say they don't get a lot of away wins, but still they get a point. They don't actually drop. I think you call Kano Pillars, they are sure title contenders. Based that they merit that because they have actually been winning, especially at home. They don't lose their points.
Seven wins and 3 draws.
Emeka, when that game when Eyimba scored first, I told you, can they be able to hold on to this goal? But still, at a point, we found out that they just couldn't. Kano Pillars actually equalized and then still got a goal. You might want to say yes, Eyimba against a club, maybe their best player Anna Ewala was not in pitch, but you want to stay still for Kano Pillars. Ahmed Musa was still also on international duties. I just felt, I think at home, Kano Pillars, they are one of the strongest teams. It's not easy for you to go there and win them. Facing a Rivers United tomorrow in Port Harcourt, I think they have all the motivation they need, Emeka. They have what it takes. And you might say Rivers United, they held Heartland to a 2-2 draw, but still Kano Pillars actually won Eyimba. It's not an easy feat to actually win an Eyimba side. Coming to Port Harcourt, it won't be an easy one for Stanley Kumasman.
All right, Superman, very, very quickly, we saw some impressive results on the road. Ifeanyi Ubah got the draw against Abia Warriors. Plateau United beat Adamawa United 2-0 away from home. Akwa United drawing again against Wiki Torres on the road. And of course, Lobi won for the first time away from home, beating Dakada, with MFM also drawing with Rangers over there in Enugu. Rivers United drew with Heartland as well. Lots of impressive results on the road.
Very impressive. The sweet part of the MPFL this season for me has been the objectivity of the results. Yes, I'm hearing pockets of complaints about officiating, but basically we know that the terrains have really been different, especially when you're going to stadiums that would look like a dungeon in the past with the presence of the fans. But these times the fans are absent. You get to do your thing and get your result if need be without the fear of being lynched, or maybe the fans maybe encroaching the pitch and attacking the players. And these are some of the results we've seen. Yes, there are days when we get to see home wins only, but those days are now rare, and that's the fun, the exciting part. I was even calculating 2 or 3 weeks in the Premier League, comparing it with the MPFL. I think it was around January, around March, April, and we're having straight home wins in the Premier League in England, and in the MPFL it was a different story. If I had probably gotten all the statistics, we're even better than them in my own calculations. So I think for me it's actually good going forward. For Lobby Stars, I'm sure this is a crucial one. You don't go to the nest of champions and easily collect 3 points, whether it's Akwa United or Dakada FC. Somehow they have a tradition.
Dakada are beating Kano Pillars in that venue.
So somehow they have a tradition there not to lose points. But for Lobby Stars to go there and collect all 3 points, and it begins to tell us another story. We've always said it that the league is a marathon, and today is Akwa United on top and maybe Kano Pillars. Tomorrow it might be Lobby Stars. As long as we have 5 games in the MPFL, I don't think anything is certain. For now, Lobby will be traveling back to face Rangers. I think that will be the next team they will be facing this weekend. So this midweek, So I would hope to see how it pans out for them. Even Plateau United and some of the other teams that are trying. Ifeanyi, I don't know if their own away, whatever they got, if it added anything to their lives, because they are still in the relegation zone. One of the teams that I really do not understand where their problem is coming from, whether it's the management, poor funding, or inability to even get the best players, in the league. But somehow you want to say it was a decent week for the away teams.
All right, a lot good results there for the away teams. They did quite well. So looking at tomorrow, we have some matches coming up in the MPFL. Match day 26 fixtures across various centers in the MPFL, and we'll have Akwa United versus Heartland. Enyimba will do battle with Adamawa United in Aba. It will be Ifeanyi versus Kwara United. Jigawa Golden Stars will confront Wiki Tourists. Lobby Stars are up against Rangers International. MFM FC will trade tackles with Abia Warriors in Lagos. And of course, the Nasra United are up against Warriors. Plateau United will confront Katsina United. And here in Port Harcourt, Rivers United will trade tackles with Kano Pillars, with Sunshine Stars also in action tomorrow against Dakada FC. All right, so more on that to come in a subsequent bulletin. But in the meantime, let's unveil our player and club of the week. Player of the week award will go to Shedrack Ogali of Rivers United. He scored a brace as the Pride of Rivers snatched a point in Owerri against Heartland FC. And of course, the club of the week award will go to Lobby Stars, who won for the first time away from home, beating Dakada FC in Uyo by a goal to nothing. So give it up for these two, Lobby Stars and of course Shedrack Ogali of Rivers United.
Today.
All right, it's time to enter the camp of the Super Eagles right away. Ahead of that match this evening, the next 19-20 minutes, Super Eagles will be in action against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Let's go to the camp of the Super Eagles.
Super Eagles, no tension, you are winning. By the grace of God, you shall win, you shall win. Zawo, 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 zawo.
One nation on the go.
All right, it's the second of the double-header friendlies between Nigeria and Cameroon. The first was started on Friday out there in Austria, Vienna precisely, and the indomitable Lions, of course, smiled first. They won by a goal to nothing. Later this evening, as a matter of fact, in the next 17 minutes or so, Nigeria will be in action against Cameroon in the second encounter. And the coach of the side, talking about Gernot Raw, is speaking ahead of that match. Let's hear from Gernot Raw. He says, of course, he is hoping that he can get the result against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, adding that it's not always to win when it comes to friendly matches.
Yes, these matches are made to test some players who could not play so much, and also to have perhaps a new organization. We will try something different, and but we want to win it also. We never won in Austria. This country for us is 4 games now, and but the most important is not the result. The most important is to progress, to learn, to work.
Superman, the man says the most important thing is not the result. I'm sure he's talking for himself. That's not the opinion of Nigerians. You have lost the first one to Cameroon. Will Nigerians be happy with this man if he loses again to Cameroon later this evening? Well, even though it's a friendly match.
They are not already happy. Most Nigerians are not even happy with him from the first result, and even previously. And I think today would not change much. If he loses also, just like their hands have been tied. Their hands will remain tied. I don't think anybody too would come out to say anything, because you can't probably sack the man, a man who signed a new contract some months back. It will be difficult to say, okay, go. How do you pay him off? So, but it's just a friendly game. I would also see it as a friendly game. We have already too many absentees. That's already giving him the reason. He's already saying, okay, we can try new things. When I know for sure that if the big players were there, we'll not try any new thing. We'll probably just still continue with the synergy creation or something like that, and maybe try one or two players, in the course of substitutions. But we know who would still start. So I think for me, Nigerians would not be happy regardless of what happens. I'm even feeling that this game might just end in a goalless draw, then we'll come back and start ruining our chances. But clearly it's just a friendly game. We are going to be seeing Valentine Ozonuafo for the very first time, like the coach confirmed, start as a defender. Francis Uzoho starting in goal. Very strange, really. We even saw the young man now, Vincent Onovo, who is a midfielder, who came in also, or was just called up. And I was asking myself, if we already have a packed midfield, what are you bringing another midfielder to come in for? I was thinking he was a defender, but when he confirmed that the man was a midfielder, then I started asking questions. Who steps in where and who stays where? Because we have Shehu Abdullahi. Apparently, he said he was going to revert to a 3-5-2 formation, but I don't think that's what will happen. From what he said there, Shehu Abdullahi will continue to retain his position. Ozonuafo would now be the central back, pairing now with the other guy now, that's the man who paired with William Chusekong the last time. Then maybe would have issues with the right back. I don't exactly know what with the left back now, Jamilu Collins, who is out. I don't exactly know what the plans are for that position, but clearly I'll just hope to see a nice game, for us to see some of the players who are just getting a chance to play, who I believe if the likes of Kelechi Iheanacho, Victor Osimhen, and Samuel Kalu and the others, when they return in full, and maybe the other big names, they will probably not see any space within the team. I hope to see some of those players get a chance. Abraham Marcus, I think this might just be his last time on that Genotro if he's not very careful. So he should probably take his chances. The likes of Anna Ayoiwa, if they get a chance to play, they make the best of it. Ahmed Musa is starting, from what the coach said. That's from what the coach said in that interview. Ahmed Musa should start. I would hope to see who would stay front. I've already seen Onuachu. I think Onuachu, if he's playing, is just to continue with confidence raise with the national team. I think I know Onuachu's problem, even if I'm not the coach. Onuachu's problem is that we're not working to his strength. So we have already seen him. Maybe we get to see Terem Murphy too, who has not gotten enough playing time. The man said he was jittery, having to be in the same pitch with the likes of Kelechi Iheanacho in the first game. Maybe he will get another chance.
That's mediocrity. Isn't it? Do you expect the Eagles to turn out differently today? From the Eagles we saw just a few days ago against the Cameroonians.
Sure, I think we're supposed to see something different from Ganatro's team today. The last time they showed a lot of promises in front of goal, but still they couldn't get it. I think we had our forward. I think our forward line has a lot of work to do with them. You don't just create chances, you don't just win the possessions, but you have to make that count for you. I think this time, I think he should try to give the newly invited players more time, because after this time, I doubt if we might see a lot of them, because even with his statement, that Ganacho is just working with these present players because he's out of options. He still tells you our best players are not here. We have to make use of what we have. I think this is the best time for the players to actually take advantage of this opportunity. Anna Iwala has to, at least, if not starts from the game, at the beginning of the second half, I think he should be introduced earlier so that we can see what he can do. Peter Olayenka, I think he will be starting this time. Same as Ahmed.
The coach has already told us who will start. He doesn't change his team.
That's the whole thing. But he should give those newly invited players. The other ones that were invited were complaining that they've not gotten enough time, and he still invited another one, a midfielder, not even a defender, knowing that we are having issues with defense for this today game. Although there are reports that Jamilu Collins might actually play, but we're not so sure. We never can tell. He had a knock. But I think Ross should try something new. He just said it is to experiment, see how these players can actually produce better. But they shouldn't allow the Cameroonians to clip our wings again. Emeka, we need to win. For the bragging rights, they can't just win us in the two friendly. Even if it's a friendly, the Eagles need to have a win this one.
All right, let's get your predictions, guys, before we go to the phone lines. Superman, starting with you.
I think it will be goalless because I'm just seeing the regular thing in the team. Chidozia Wazim and Valentine as one for impairing in defense, and we struggle to push. So I think not the best we can get a win, but I think it might end in a draw, goalless.
All right, so officially the team list is out. We have Maduka Okoye in goal. Jamilu Collins starts. We have Valentine Ozonwa for Chidozia Wazim also starting, and of course we have Wilfred Ndidi, Shehu Abdullahi, Alex Iwobi, Moses Simon starts, and of course Kelechi Iheanacho, Paul Onuachu, and Captain Ahmed Musa all on the starting 11 there for the Eagles. Etebo is confined to the bench today. He's not starting. Okay, we in the bench we've got Francis Ozoho, Etebo, is Chuku, one of the new boys invited, Anayo Iwala, John Noble, Olayin Capita, Marcus Abraham. We also have Tijani. What's his first name?
Samson
Tijani, the former Golden Eagles captain, and of course Onovo, another new player invited to the team, and Terry Murphy. So that's how the Eagles will start today. And Superman, you say your prediction is what?
Goalless. You look at the lineup. Although he told us
goalless.
But I'm seeing Okoye starting.
Okoye is starting. The man doesn't change his team often. Just 2 changes from the last time he played Cameroon. Isn't Superman says goalless? What's your own prediction?
I don't see a goalless game, Emeka. We created a lot of chances in the first friendly we actually had. I expect at least a 1-0, 2-0 win. I don't see that game. If it ends in a stalemate, then I think Raw got something wrong out of that game.
All right. So it's time now to go to the phone lines to hear from you guys. Nigeria play Cameroon. In the next 10 minutes, that match will be underway. We've just read out the starting 11 for you. And of course, we did talk about the MPFL. Where we saw lots of action on Sunday. There's also more action to come tomorrow here in Port Harcourt and other places as well. Paul Onuachu in the news named the best African player in Belgium, grabbing the Ebony Shoe Award right there. So feel free to share your thoughts with us, react to whatever it is we've talked about today that takes your fancy. Please do well to share your thoughts with us. 0817 0000951. That's 0817 0000951. You can also reach us on the other number. That's 0810 9510951. Please keep it short, sweet, and simple. Hello. Oops, we lost that one. Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Prophetess Faithful Faith. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Good afternoon to your colleagues in studio.
Good afternoon.
Emeka, let me congratulate my twin brother, Paul Onuachu, for the...
Wait, did you say your twin brother? Are you a man?
I said my twin brother. Twins could be male and female now.
I hear you.
Anyway, really congratulations to him for what he has been achieving over there in that Belgian league. And about today's match, I'm really expecting Nigeria to win the match. Really, I don't think they are going to lose in the hands of these people back to back. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Faith, for your call. Go to the next line. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Today's Sports Live.
Good afternoon, double one.
Good to have you on the show. Your name and the location?
This is Onyedika from Aba.
Good to have you, Onyedika from Aba. Talk to us.
Let me start from the Alpha United coach. He started thinking crazy because he left 2 matches unbeaten.
Unbeaten, yes. It's a new record in the MPFL.
Yeah, congratulations to him. But let me remind him, it was the same way that the Rivers United was thinking. They have not lost a game at home. After thinking that pressure, I think their last 2 matches now at home, they have not won a match. Let him be aware. Because the next 2 matches, I'm seeing him taking a draw or losing a match at home. Talking about, let him not relax and thinking that pressure. That's what I'm saying. Well, talking about the Nigerian game this evening, he can go either way. My problem is him. That man is not using at least these new players that he invited. I don't know the reason why he invited. If he couldn't use them in friendly match, is that a World Cup qualifier that he will use them?
He will not even invite them when it comes to the big one. Thank you so much, Onyedika. Let's go to the next caller. Hello. One. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live.
Apostle of Love.
All the way from Aba. Good to have you on the show, my brother. Talk.
Thank you. Even though you are no more listening us so much, Emeka, Let me say, appreciating of Nigeria.
It's a Yimba forever. Yimba forever. You know.
We should do something about officiating. Like in the past 4 games, Yimba have been seriously robbed and even penalties.
So they've been robbed even in Aba.
It's not real. We play good game here in Aba.
And that's what I'm saying. Now you said in the past 4 games they've been robbed. Whatever. I'm asking whether they are also being robbed at home in Aba.
No. I will not you.
Okay.
How can Kano be strong at home? And that's why we don't have good representations when we go to African continent. So talking about the metro, I told you that man is fortunate to be Nigerian coach. There is no coach that behaves even in Europe where that man. How can you bring these boys? None of them is the starting lineup today. That man, I fear, Cameroon will still do it.
He doesn't want to lose now. He doesn't want to take that risk, and the team will lose that.
That is not how to.
All right, let's leave it there, Apostle of Love, and go to the next caller. Hello. Yeah, Simon. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live.
Good afternoon. Let me go straight to Super Eagle lineup. The Super Eagle, the team that I saw now, he wants to play attacking formation. But my problem now is the only difference in the what they call LS will be in this field. Apart from the winger.
Shehu Abdullahi should be there too, I guess.
Will play right back now.
Okay, yeah. Chidozia was him will pair with Valentine or someone for his true.
And the LS the problem I have now, I don't know the strength of the Cameroonian midfield. Because if they collect the midfield, because LS will be weak. He cannot handle that midfield alone. But coach know the best. Maybe he have done the
Here will be dropping down to help them in the midfield.
will be dropping now. So actually back can also enter midfield and ball and no problem.
Alright, so no problem with the lineup eventually. Let's go to the next caller. Hello. Sorry we lost that one. Okay, we equally lost that one. Time to go to the other platform. Superman will have messages coming through.
Okay, just one here from the WhatsApp portal. Good afternoon, Today FM Sports Crew. Madani Rivers United will beat Kano Pillars tomorrow. Jackson at Chelsea from Port Harcourt. On the text message portal too, we have one. This one says, you guys keep saying Raw should play the new guys, but there's no need. We probably won't see them again after now.
I guess
from
so
Bad
too.
Commando.
I guess so too. The man is scared of experimenting, so to say. Let's go to the phone lines there. Okay, we lost that one. Hello. All right, the lines are acting up. Just do well to call us back if you can. 0817 000951. That's 0817 000951. Or you reach us on the other line 0810 9510 951. Let's get to hear from you this afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live. Eto.
Thank you, bro. Come on.
I greet you, Eto. Welcome.
Meta, do you know that Kennedy Boboe, that man surprised us. He's a good coach. After this particular contract, we are going to sign him another 5 years contract.
It's okay. That will be lovely.
By breaking up the record.
That's all Chelsea fans. If you Chelsea, that's what I talk that year when Lampard be the win, no?
Hey, yeah, as I'm talking to you, Kennedy Boboe is the best coach. We are giving him 4 years.
Say that you won't give him the contract, Abi. Yeah, Paul Bassi.
Of course, I'm one of the stakeholders of the club.
It's okay.
I will negotiate that one. So do you comment about my position as the Aqua United chairman of the board?
Self-acclaimed there. Thank you so much, Eto, for your call. We appreciate you a lot. Superman, Super Eagles lining up today against the Indomitable Lions. Just in case you missed it, let's quickly take the starting 11 once again before we leave the studio. Our time fast spent already. Let's bring you up to speed with who is playing for Nigeria. In goal, we have Maduka Okoye. He was still in goal last time we played. So in the defense, we've got Jamilu Collins, Valentine Ozoma for the former Yimba man, Chidozie Wasim, and Shehu Abdullahi. The midfielders are Wilfred Ndidi, Alex Iwobi, maybe Kelechi Iheanacho, you want to add him there too. And of course, so up front, we've got Moses Simon, Ahmed Musa, and Paul Onwacho, who will be leading the lines. Okay, that's the much we can take on the show this afternoon. Many thanks to Ethan for putting the package together. And of course, the biggest of thanks will go to you out there for being a part of the show this afternoon. Do well to join us tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. for Sports Attack. And until then, have yourselves a wonderful evening out there and watch the Super Eagles. So,
Don't sign them, God don't stand bam. Just go out there, grab them, oh yeah.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Good evening. Here is the news update at 4 on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. The People's Democratic Party PDP caucus in the House of Representatives on Tuesday staged a walkout amid a rowdy session over the suspension of Twitter activities in Nigeria. The lawmakers walked out after its caucus leader Kingsley Chinda was ruled out of order by the speaker. Chinda had prayed the House to urge the federal government to suspend the ban while the House conducts an investigation as directed by the Speaker. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has resolved to invite the Minister of Culture and Information, Lai Mohammed, to investigate the legality of the Twitter ban by the federal government. The Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, directed the House Committees on Justice, Commerce and Information to investigate the process that led to the suspension of the microblogging sites. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed says the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami will decide whether or not to prosecute the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, the founder and General Superintendent of Deeper Christian Life Ministry Worldwide, Pastor William Kumuyi, as well as other violators of the Twitter ban by the federal government. Mohammed made this known during an interview with the BBC News Africa. Pastor Adeboye had in a tweet on Monday said his church is present in over 170 countries and tweeting is in accordance with Article 19 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Pastor Kumuyi also tweeted that his church has branches across over 100 countries and 5 continents, hence it can tweet from anywhere in the world. The administration of the President, Muhammadu Buhari, has been under criticism since last Friday for suspending the operations of the microblogging site after Twitter deleted a controversial post made by the president. Julius Bokoru, who is the aide to the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipri Silva, says there is no rift between the minister and that of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio. Bokoru, in a statement issued on Tuesday, debunked claims of an alleged row between both ministers over the formation of a substantive board of the Niger Delta Development Commission. Bokoru noted that Silva was not in any way involved in an attempt to truncate the chances of certain individuals from being managing director of the region's apex interventionist body. He said the duo consider themselves brothers and comrades in the quest of building a more prosperous Niger Delta and a stronger Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the House of Representatives to confirm the appointment of Major General Farouk Yahya as the new Chief of Army Staff. Yahya was appointed to replace Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atairu, who died in a plane crash in Kaduna, along with 10 other officers. The president also urged the House to pass a law to increase the retirement age of teachers from the present 60 years to 65 years, while also increasing the mandatory years of service from 35 to 40 years. The section of the National Youth Service Corps in the Federal Secretariat of Sabah, the Delta State capital, has been engulfed by fire, leaving one of the firefighters in critical condition after falling from the second floor. The fire, which raged down the NYC section of the Secretariat around 7 a.m., caused panic among the workers who scampered for safety. The state coordinator NYSC, Mrs. Olutayo Samuel, said everything in their section was completely destroyed. A bystander slapped French President Emmanuel Macron across the face during a trip to southeast France on Tuesday on the second stop of a nationwide tour. Images on social media and broadcast on the BFM news channel showed Macron approach a barrier to greet a man who, instead of shaking hands, slapped the 43-year-old across the face. Macron's bodyguards quickly intervened and 2 people were arrested afterwards. The incident in the village of Tain Hermitage in the Drôme region represents a serious security breach and overshadows the start of Macron's tour, which he said was designed to take the country's pulse. That was the news update at 4 on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget to take responsibility. Wash your hands on a regular with soap on the running water. Alternatively, have with you at all times alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Avoid touching your face and eye contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Good evening. I am Kalada Karibatbo. Stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
It all begins with breaking news.
Now make no mistake, this is a difficult mission, and it will remain difficult for some time.
Then it keeps trending. Events, issues, personalities, all struggling to gain attention. But in the race for deadlines, the intrigues, power play, undercurrents are often missed or underreported.
Insecurity here is basically a product of poverty.
But not anymore. As the platform on radio steps in to fill the missing links on events, issues, and personalities in the news.
I'm not afraid of anybody. Yeah!
The platform on radio serves only the hottest topics and trending issues. Only on Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. Every weekday at 4 p.m. Get on the platform on radio and be served.
Stands, greet.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You are welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sound Sultan, your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand Pidgin English?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we go use hands for? Okay, carry your paper. Fem for my class. People of this world, them plenty. Sins of this people, many, so many. Many times plenty, multiplier. Many times plenty, multiplier. Multiply the answer you get now waiting, they make come and they cry. The answer you get now waiting, they make rich man they mess and leaders they lie. The answer you get now waiting, they make young boys and girls join party gang. Answer you get now waiting, they make innocent man rot inside the jail. Get it, and then agree to grant and bail. Get it, oh. Everybody, oh yeah, oh, join Jagbajantis, make we solve mathematics. We did about our continent, so you both say about mass. Go use take solve mathematics. So follow Jagbajantis. So ya carry by be for brotherhood.
Love your neighbor as yourself,
oh, for objectivity.
Be objective, gentlemen.
D for democracy.
No matter how bad it is, never military.
Now M for modification
of our behavior, let's stand to the same behalf.
A Hey, accountability.
If you've been a chop money, I beg you take them easy.
S for solidarity.
United we stand divided. Oh my shell.
We enter new millennium.
Shanty ball.
Nigerians like 120 million. One
Shanty ball.
One population of 6 billion.
6 billion.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Answer you get now waiting, they make people they jar. Come on for Niger. Answer you get now waiting, they make people want travel. By hook or by crook. The answer you get now waiting, they make people they sleep for embassy, for visa. Answer you get now waiting, they make people they sell them property for ticket. Get it, get it. Then they travel, see. Get it, get it. Oh, hey. Everybody, oh yeah,
Join Jabajantis, we solve mathematics.
We did about our continent. So,
Oh, you both say, no partners,
we go use take
solve mathematics. So follow Jabajantis.
So ya carry bairo, be for brotherhood.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Oh, for objectivity.
Be objective, gentlemen, ladies.
Be for democracy.
No matter how bad it is, the better military.
And for modification
of our behaviors unto the savior.
Hey, accountability.
If you've been a chop money, I beg you take them easy.
S for solidarity.
United we stand and divided. Oh my shell.
You just the HS city.
Shut it down.
And there's the VG city.
Shut it down.
Right go level for AJ city.
AJ city.
Richmond corner be VG city.
VG city.
You try add AJ and VG city all together. Oh yeah,
all together.
The answer you get now waiting they make Richmond oppress and then suppress. The answer you get now waiting they make poor man depress. But then aggress. The answer you get now waiting they make poor man they try to keep up with the Joneses.
We have an elected president who we are given a mandate who should take decisions on behalf of all Nigerians. Until he's removed from there as the president of this country, any person questioning his decisions is doing it illegally. I'm of the view that whatever decisions the president, whatever decisions on behalf of all Nigerians, we have to bear it and accept such decisions as we need to respect the rules of Nigeria rather than thinking of the rules of Twitter or Facebook and so on. We have a president who decides what national security and the interests of this country should be, and we should respect that. Any president can be in the saddle tomorrow. Whatever decision he takes on behalf of Nigerians, we should support him. It should not have to be an issue of political party or religious or ethnicity. Whatever the president said, whether he said it wrongly or rightly, we could bear it until we vote him out of power when his term is over.
All right, good afternoon. Time check, it's few minutes after 4 p.m. Of course, you know what time it is. When it's 15 minutes after 4, it's time for us to open up the phone lines and allow you to do the broadcast. It's time for us to talk about trending issues that have made headlines in our bulletin for today. I mean, issues that have trended in our bulletin for today. These are the issues we'll be talking about. When the president makes, we just have to live with that decision. That is the advice from a member of the House of Representatives, Austin Brimo. Not to question,
and we should respect that. Any president can be in the saddle tomorrow. Whatever decision he take on behalf of Nigerians, we should support him. It should not have to be an issue of political party or religious or ethnicity. Whatever the president said, whether he said it wrongly or rightly, we could hear it until we vote him out of power when his term is over.
I mean, look, don't question the president. Whatever decision the president makes, you just need to obey the president's decision. The president asks you not to eat for 1 month, don't eat for 1 month. If the president says sit down for 1 week, sit down for 1 week. Why should we be embarrassing the president in the eyes of international community? I mean, if I understand, this is the message that Austin Brymo is passing to Nigerians. Who are you? Why should you question the president? I mean, why didn't you just wait until the president leaves office in 2023? Why should you ask him why? He has asked Twitter to to suspend the activities of Twitter in Nigeria. This is. I think maybe we should give him some thoughts. I don't know. What right do you have to question the president and commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Who are you to question a man who, can ask you to sit down for 1 year and you dare not question him? Austin Brymo, a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress. We'll open up the phone line. We'll allow you to have your say in this matter. Of course, our talking point is, what do you make of the advice from the APC chieftain? What do you think of the advice he has given Nigeria? Is it an advice that we think we should follow? Why should we embarrass the president before international community? Let's just rally around Mr. President and be with the president and ensure that we don't disgrace him or we don't say things that are not make unprintable comments about our president in the eyes of the world. Our phone lines are buzzing already. Let's take our first call. 95.1. Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Onyekachi.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yes, Mr. Sam.
Mr. Charles, you're welcome. Let's have your take on the program.
Yeah. Mr. Onyekachi, you see, in as much as I would disagree in one area with Mr. Jimo or whatsoever.
Mr. Austin Brymo.
Austin Brymo. And that the president should not be questioned. The president can be questioned. But in this aspect, the president is 100 plus 1% correct.
How do you why do you think we should question our president? He's the commander-in-chief. Why should you question him? He's the commander-in-chief.
We maybe take any decision that is not right over the people or the nation.
With wrong decision. He has AIDS.
It is very, very possible because we are all human. I think we are all human. So that is why the Holy Book said the multiple of counselors, the leader is bound to succeed. So when you say multiple, it's more than one. And the president has advisor on different issues, which maybe when it comes to this issue of internet, it will just be one advisor or twice or two. But you see, sincerely, this Twitter, they have insulted we as a nation.
Okay, so we're not going detail. We're not going to details of this Twitter. We're just looking at the comment by Mr. Austin Brymo that the president cannot be questioned. So thank you so much for calling so that we can take other calls. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Yes, okay, that's a drop call. Yeah, we're looking at the statement by Austin Brymo. He's asking Nigeria not to question the authority of Mr. President. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening, 95.1 Today FM.
My brother,
you may need to speak up a bit, I can't hear you.
I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, go ahead.
Indeed, things are falling apart. Hello?
Things are falling apart. Where are you? Where you are there bridges that fell apart?
Things are falling apart, yes. From the language, the statement of somebody who calls himself a teenager, it means that things are falling apart. Hello?
No, he's not a senator. He's a chieftain of the APC.
A chieftain of the APC. My dear, I can imagine turning things upside down.
What did he turn upside down?
Hello, see, if this man had said that any positive statement made by the president or any positive decision taken by the president that we should abide by it, it's going to be a different project. But how can somebody who calls himself a system or a reasonable person say that we should abide by whatever negative or positive decision taken by the president?
But let's even ask ourselves. Let's ask just a minute. Let's ask ourselves. Do you really think the president, who is surrounded by aides, ministers, wise men, so to speak, do you think he can take wrong decision? Let's look at it from that point of view too.
He's human. He can take wrong decision. And the decision that is not okay by the masses is a wrong decision. He does not own the masses.
But look at another argument. His argument again is that why do we want to disgrace our president in the eyes of the international community? Why not let's just cover him? Let's protect him. Let's rally around him. Let's stay with him. Isn't that a good enough reason?
No, it's not ministers that should call him to order. That should call him back and talk to him. If he does not know how to put things in order, they correct him. Because they used to say that it's not only the dead that they bend the neck. They can also bend the building's neck. So he has his ministers, he has his people he appointed to guide.
So you are saying that Mr. Brimo is wrong in his advice to Nigerians?
That's wrong. That statement for me is a disastrous statement.
All right, thank you. 95.1 Today FM. And a drop call. Yes, we're looking at the issue raised by an APC chieftain asking Nigerians to follow whatever decision the president has taken or the president will take until, that we should be patient until he leaves office in 2023. 95.1, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, 95.1.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is
You may need to speak up.
My name is Albert.
All right, welcome.
Yeah, the thing is, I think if someone makes a mistake and someone is asking us that we should stick to what the person is doing, that means we are not going to make any progress now. You understand?
Your line is not very, very clear. Your line is not very, very clear. Please be a bit audible.
So what I'm saying is that if someone tries to make an error and we should not stick to the error.
Yeah, he's advising us to stick with the error and just stay and be patient. No. Let's exercise patience until he leaves office. His tenure ends in 2023.
This is why we have a bad economy. You understand? This is why Nigeria is like this. You understand? What something is bad?
Don't you think all of us, we all have our own blame? Is it just the president that should be blamed for the bad economy?
No. If the president had issues on Twitter, you have the same problem now. You can't go your issue to me. You understand?
So are you saying that Mr. Brimo is right or wrong?
It's wrong. You understand? Look at 30 people now. I don't know where they are. I don't know what the God mission to. You understand? Imagine you now, I'm talking to you now. If I told you I'm going to do with you, are you not going to cut me off?
All right.
You're going to cut me off. The tweet was bad. It's a bad tweet. You should protect your truth when you put it there so people can understand it. It's simple things.
All right, thank you.
It didn't get proper.
Thank you. We've noted your point. Thank you so much.
40, you understand? 40.
Thank you so much. 95.1, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Honorable Chris.
Comrade.
Yeah, let me say something. I have 5 children, and the policy Mr. President gives, the condition he gives, I have lost maybe my 3 children. And Mr. President, somebody is telling me I should not talk. I should wait until Mr. President policy kill all my 5 children.
No, he did not say you should wait until the policy. He just said you should be patient. Just.
That is what I'm saying. I should not talk. I should not tell anybody what happened. I should hold on, have patience until when Mr. President leaves office.
Let us look at it. Your children. It's a good thing that you've come with the issue of that you have 5 children. there are times even in your house, in your family, you probably will make mistakes. Your children will protect you. They won't go out of the way to go and announce your error. That's the advice he's simply giving.
No, see, even in my own house, sometimes I will tell my wife, we are going to eat beans today. My children will say, no, daddy, eat rice. And I cook the rice. What do you want to do? And Mr. President is my father.
But again, you know that if he...
This man, where this man is from, where is he staying? Is he staying in this Nigeria? That's Brino.
All right, we've noted your point.
We should recall some of them to come back.
He's not a member of the House of Representatives. He's not a lawmaker for now. He's a chieftain of the APC. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we can take other calls. 95.1, good evening. 95.1, good evening. All right, the phone lines are 0810-9510-951, 081700000951. We're looking at the issue raised by Mr. Bremo. Hello, good evening, 95.1.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, 95.1 Today FM.
Yes, my name is Simaman. I'm calling from Baishan University.
Very well.
In line with the statement of Austin, irrespective of any political affiliation, I define the statement as vanguard.
As what?
I define the statement as a vanguard statement. One must see that statement. So the Mumbai Buhari was not elected by individuals.
Isn't that a patriotic statement from a patriotic Nigerian? Don't you think so?
One must see that statement. Was not elected. That statement, I define as a vanguard statement. Thank you. I remain Mama. Bamba.
Thank you so much. Yes, we're looking at the statement. I wonder why the statement is generating so much furore. But because you wonder, I mean, we've been asked on several occasions to be patriotic. And some people will view it as being patriotic. I mean, let's protect this man. Let's be with him. Let's stay with him. And see, I mean, he just has less than 2 years to leave office. I mean, in 2023, he will be home and dry, and then we'll have a new person. I mean, that is simply what I think Mr. Brimo is talking about. Well, that's what I think he's talking about. 95.1, good evening.
Good evening, sir. This is Friday.
Friday, this is the platform, Today FM.
Yeah, am I on to Today FM?
Yes, please. Let's have your thoughts.
Yeah. In respect of the Austin, that statement, just somebody give an instance, they can have 5 children. And out of that 5, you decided to start 2 and give 3 food. How do you look at that? How will the rest ones look at you? Because he said that the president said we should not eat for 1 month. Everybody should not eat. Then he went to give 3 persons food and they staff 2 persons. How would that one that he did not give food guide you as a good father? If we take every statement of this president to be the God in heaven statement, then it is uncalled for.
So are you saying we should all carry placards and go out and protest anytime the president makes a wrong decision?
That the president gave the Austin, so-called Austin, is uncalled for.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Yes, quickly, we'll just go to our next point. Our next point is, of course, an issue raised by the IG, the new IG of police. Of course, you know that just recently was confirmed as substantive Inspector General of Police. Al-Khali Baba has announced the immediate suspension of tinted vehicle windscreens in Nigeria. The IGP announced this on Monday during a meeting with senior police officers, including commissioners and DIGs from across the country. He also directed that the issuance of spy number plates be put on hold. This, according to the IGP, is part of efforts being put in place to curtail the worsening security challenges across the country. While making the announcement, he reiterated that roadblocks remain prohibited in the country and warned that the heads of commands must enforce it and key into the road patrol strategy as an alternative to roadblocks in the country. I mean, this particular piece of information got me thinking, because I know that I have seen this kind of directive from police bosses across our country in the past. And each time you see them make these comments, you look across your window, you will still see vehicles with tinted glasses hovering around the streets and the roads. One wonders why it's like that. I don't want to say more than I can chew, you know what I mean? So the question now is this a different directive? I mean, do you think the directive will help reduce insecurity in the country in the real sense? Is this actually what we need now to fight the spate of insecurity that is bedeviling us as a nation? And how certain are we that this directive will be enforced again? Or this directive again will be enforced? Because this certainly is not the first time that this kind of directive has come out. We've had it. I'm sure the last IG that just left office also gave this directive. I mean, I remember vividly some of the directives they give. One that readily comes to mind is that from so day, let's withdraw. No more VIPs. Don't go with security again. We withdraw police personnel that are protecting VIPs. And then when you look around, it just looks like they just increase the number of security behind VIPs. You wonder, why give instruction that you cannot enforce? I mean, it looks like they make caricature of the office of the IGP these days. But I mean, it is left for our listeners to have their say and make their contributions. Our phone lines are open. Hello, 95.1. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Where are you calling from? Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Honor calling from Port Harcourt.
Honorable, let's have your thoughts.
Yeah, you know, I think in your system or your phone, you have notification that always signal you when message or call on your phone. That's
what do you mean?
I see. That's what I see. IG. It's just telling the people to come and say that a new order now have been in the state. Come and renew your to bring the title for me.
The question, but again, we should give him some benefit of that, because at the time he has come in is a very precarious time in our country. I mean, insecurity everywhere. Don't you think that this decision, this directive, will help reduce insecurity? That's where we are going.
No, let me ask something. The one chance people they talk in Port Harcourt, are they using the tinted glass? Even the
but that is just one out of many now. You can't just use that to generalize.
Now, if all these our politicians, they are the ones that are using the tinted glass. Can you even, I thought the IG will even say every politician house, they should test it have, so that we, the commoner, will be seeing what is going on inside those politicians. Even I said, if you go his own house now, there's big giant secret that is nobody knows what is happening inside his house.
No, but
there
was a clarification from the state River State Command saying that those who already have those tinted glass can go ahead, but that they will no longer issue permission for you to have your glasses tinted. You know.
Okay, if we say that those that have it can go ahead, how can you know the people that have it before? All our, even as I stand here now, if it's a video call,
we have policemen across the streets now. The police people, we have security officers on the road. I mean, they can handle all of that. Thank you so much, by the way.
Even police officers, they're using tinted glass. How can they use it? They would not want me to use my own. Now I know you win. Now win, so
okay.
I don't know use their.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable. Thank you so much. 95.1. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Sheldra, calling from Port Harcourt.
Sheldra, thank you for joining us.
The issue of tinted, I think that is not the problem of this country. The problem
is it not part of the problem? It may not be the entire problem.
No. Listen. Those people that kill police officers, they are not using tinted permit, tinted glass motor.
But they are kidnappers. They are kidnappers that drives in big jeep.
They use bikes. They use this. So tinted permit is not the issue. You understand?
Are you saying there is nothing the tinted permit will solve this?
No. We are grown up from this Port Harcourt here. I know the tinted permit we are talking about is when before 3 people there inside. You cannot see where they use tinted permit to kidnap. They use ordinary taxi, data, all this scrap taxi to kidnap people if you don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to agree with you on that. I'm not sure I want to agree with you.
What of those ones who go and pump police station and they using this permit? Well, oh, that is not. They want to empower police to chop from others, from the public.
They want to empower police to. I mean, you can. 95.1. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Mr. Manuel from Milwaukee.
Mr. Manuel, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. The issue of tinted glass is one of the problems. It is one of the biggest problems we have in insecurity in Nigeria. Ask me why. Because many people today are moving with tinted glass. You will see somebody parking in your stomach or by the side of the road. They are monitoring somebody. You won't even see those people inside the motor. Even all these junior officers, they are moving with tinted glasses, but it won't work out because this government these days, they will say something, but they will not implement it. They will be looking at the senior ones. We have godfatherism and all the rest. A junior officer may hold one of those big men that are moving with latest SUV cars. You will see the person call Abuja. They will tell you leave this person, and he's moving with tinted glasses.
So the point you are trying to make is that the IG's decision or directive is in order.
It's in order, but they will not implement it. That is the worst part of it.
Why do you say? Why have we lost so much confidence in our leaders?
Yes, we have more than.
I mean, this is a new man. This is a new sheriff in town. Why not?
He's a new man. He wants people to he wants those big men to recognize him. That's all, and get his own pay.
Let's not make spurious allegations. Now, let's not make allegations. Let's not make comments that we cannot substantiate. Now, I mean,
on our ground and say simple truth. We can do that, but you will see tomorrow they will change what this order now. Okay, what of the roadblock? Is it today they stop the roadblock? From here, just from Airport Road now down to Port Harcourt, you can't have any police take a point. They are there, some are seated.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In fact, that's another leg to even the whole argument, the roadblock. For me, well, what do I know? Like, for me, I would think that the roadblock is like asking a pastor not to go to church. I mean, asking a pastor not to climb his pulpit. I don't know how possible that would be for you to say there is no roadblock in roads, in federal roads, or even roads across the country. 95.1. Good evening.
Hello, yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Engineer Victor. I'm calling from Romolomini.
Engineer Victor, you had the IG's directive asking us not to use tinted glass and roadblock banned.
Yes, that is why I call. I want to comment on that. To me, that is not our major problem in this country. Our major problem in this country is injustice.
Is that not part of the problem we're having? Is that not insecurity?
No, my brother, the level of injustice, tribalism. One section of the country look more upper hand than the other section of the country.
Let's stay on the issue. The issue
on stopping tinted glass. This one has come against more than I will go and sleep. They will use it. Even constable for police constable use tinted glass. Then you expect me to not use tinted glass? It's rubbish.
So you are using tinted glass. All right, thank you. 95.1. Good evening.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is.
You may need to speak up, please.
My name is Mimi, and I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right. Go ahead.
I think the IG stopping tinted glass permit. I think it's in the right step, in the right direction. I think that will stop a lot of things from happening. The other day I saw people.
Okay, but do you think that the IG can actually carry this through? Well, I think we lost that call there. Hello, good evening. 95.1, good evening. All right. Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. You're welcome. This is the platform 95.1 Today FM.
Thank you. Mazi, our David.
Mazi.
Thank you. I was not lucky on the first topic.
No, we are past the first topic. We are looking at the IG's decision, asking us, saying that we can no longer use tinted glass again, and then the issue of roadblocks.
Yes. Let me just make it in a short note.
Very short.
To me, that word holds no water.
I mean, this is the IG speaking here.
I said the words or the word do not hold water. Because the predecessor before him also made the same comments. What happened? Just come today evening at Olu Obasanjo or my one. You will see roadblocks. That's number one.
No, but you can even help. If you see, you can even help to report to the nearest police station. I mean, why are we not patriotic?
I didn't get you. Come again.
If you see roadblocks, you have heard that the IG has given this directive. Should you see any roadblock in your area, why not go and report it to the nearest police station? I mean, is that not patriotism? How else do you define patriotism?
What will be my reward then? My reward will be later they will come
in
for
heaven,
me.
In heaven. I mean, you can wait
or they will return back my credit for me.
I mean, God will reward you. God will reward you.
Sir, the truth about the issue. Nigerian institutions are respecters of no law at all. They don't respect their law. That's why I was angry. Why didn't my call come on that first topic you raised? Because I want to just give you one small knowledge why the House of Commons were built in London.
So you think the IGs? Let's now go to history of the House of Commons and the House of Lords in London. Okay, the issue raised by the IG, you think it holds no water? It will not pass for the day. Is that what you're saying?
Till tomorrow, I still maintain the words.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. 95.1, this is our last call on this topic. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. I call back. Let me talk about the act of president that I say.
The act of what? We're on the story.
The rep member.
No. That will pass that. We're looking at the issue of the IG. Maybe you may need to call us back. Let's quickly go to our third story, which is of course talking about the road safety, giving us an advice, or asking state government to take a particular, begin to look toward constructing roads and making provision for bicycle lanes in future in Nigeria. Yes, in Nigeria, you heard me right. Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC has advised the federal and state governments to map out bicycle lanes in future road constructions, so that at least when you are going to the office, you can ride your bicycle to your offices. At least, it's a form of exercise according to them. The court said, will reduce huge costs associated with other means of transportation, reduce traffic crashes, and man-hour loss, among other advantages. The FRSA Kwara State Commander, Corps Commander Jonathan Owade, gave the advice when he was speaking with journalists on Tuesday in Lagos. He said that the use of bicycle as a means of transportation will positively impact on all spheres. According to him, the use of bicycle will, among other things, positively impact on the society, reduce the huge costs associated with other means of transportation, and save time. He listed other advantages of using bicycle as a means of transportation to include exercise, which help resolve health issues, improvement of mental ability. Too much of mental issues will not be seen on the street. Mental people will not be seen on the street again. Elimination of traffic gridlock, I beg your pardon. Hold up, traffic, go slow, whatever name you call it, will be reduced in our cities. Reduction of gas emission, which pose a great danger to climate change. His advice comes yesterday. He made the advice yesterday, 7th of June, as a word marked Bicycle Day. For me, I think this is an advice that we all need to applaud. But the big question remains, this is Nigeria. How achievable and impactful do you think this advice can go in reducing road crashes? How achievable do you think we can get this done as quickly? I remember there was a minister in our country, Ojo Madueke, if I can remember. When he was in office as minister, he rode on bicycle to the office. It was all over the media. Ojo Madueke the late Ojo Madueke riding bicycle to the office when he was, minister for transportation. He was a minister in the federal cabinet, and then he rode on bicycle to the office in Abuja then. Why did you not encourage this thing? Why didn't the government encourage this thing? Why are we building road? I'm sure the governor of Rivers State, who is, constructing bridges and roads, I'm sure, Mr. Governor, when next you're doing another road project, consider adding lane for bicycle. Add lane for bicycle so that those who want to ride bicycle can ride to the office. This will reduce road crashes and other problems associated that comes with using a vehicle. This advice is coming from the Federal Road Safety Corps. Let's listen to what our listeners will have to say about this. Hello, good evening, 95.1.
Good evening.
Good evening, 95.1.
Good evening.
95.1, good evening.
It's Cookie Gum.
Go ahead, let's have your thoughts. What do you make of the advice from the Federal Road Safety Corps?
For me, my personal advice is every year, every new ID will give this order.
No, we're past the issue of order. Apparently, you weren't listening to this last point. We're looking at the advice given by the Federal Road Safety Corps, asking federal and state governments to always create a lane for bicycles.
Yes, he said three things. He said that at the remember the tinted glass and the bicycle part. He said it's a little program for the beginning.
We have passed that. Now. We're on another issue. Yes, we're past that. We're looking at the issue, the advice given by the Federal Road Safety Corps, Federal Road Safety Corps, asking state and federal government to construct road and ensure that there's a lane for bicycle to operate. Good evening, 95.1.
No, good evening.
95.1, good evening.
No, good evening. This is Honorable Christian Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Honorable, you're welcome.
Yeah, let me draw your attention back. You know when they are using Okada in this town, they told us it's because of armed robber. They should stop using Okada. We obey them. And armed robbers are still operating. They say, oh, no.
Are you saying armed robbers can use bicycle to operate too?
No, now let me tell you, let me paint something so that you understand. And they say, no, it's Keke, let's go to Keke. Now, Keke, they are using Keke now, Tokina. No, Keke is not good. They use the minibus. See, whether road safety or this and that, where are they going to start to create the road? You did not start something straight at its initial time. Where are you going to join the road now? Is it maybe when you start this new road?
No, why not listen to the reasons given by the road? The road safety listed advantages of using bicycle. One of it is that it will help reduce health issues. There won't be too many mental people on the road again. Isn't that good enough reason?
This road safety personnel, I don't even know whether he's staying in this country or he's staying in Equatorial Guinea. Which road again? Where do you want to draw the map to?
Okay, let me ask you, which road did the minister, a former minister in this country, rode on bicycle to his office in Abuja? Is it not road in this country that he rode on bicycle to his office? Isn't these things achievable?
Look at the important thing. For example, look at the time. There is a big spot road there that are causing hold up. They are causing traffic. They will not go and finish and fix up the road. They are talking about bicycle. People should use bicycle to ease the traffic. I don't know when these people, when they go to the power of God, it's like they don't know what to do again. Let them come back home.
All right.
We start returning them back. Let them leave that place. They are running out of ideas.
All right.
Thank you. That is not good. Let's go to
Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, 95.1.
I was saying, I was cooking about the road safety and about the bicycle issue. That's what I was saying before.
Go ahead, please.
I said, Abaro is now, we can start demolishing house in Abaro and build a lane for bicycle. As the road is now, we can start to build a lane.
I'm sure engineers will be able to answer that. They will find a way around it. But again, we must look at the advantages of this thing. When we are making our argument, let's look at the advantage that was put forward by the road safety. Elimination of traffic. Are you happy that every time you go on the road, you meet traffic? Are you happy? To reduce gas emission, you will stop inhaling all of these things that we are inhaling. All of these things reduces our lifespan. These are advantages that I think we should do everything possible to adhere to this advice by the road safety.
I agree with you. It has an advantage. It also brings beauty to the state, but it's not in this country like this now. Except we are doing a new city. It's not in Nigeria now. if you go to Ayago, you go to do every morning. I don't know, for between 8 and 10, 11, I go to I don't know because now is it that will stop
This is a problem that the bicycle team will solve now. This is a problem the bicycle will solve. Is it a case of not having confidence on our leaders, or when they say something we feel that anyway, your point has been noted. Thank you so much. 95.1, good evening.
Yeah, this is Pastor Gabriel.
Please, you may need to speak up.
Yes, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I think this is an advice, but we have important advice, things that are important to us. I think this very advice from the road safety law is not an important advice to me, because
how could you say how could you say a thing like this? I mean, an advice that will help you live long. Something that will make you live long is not a good advice.
My brother, building bicycle road does not prefer longevity of life. My brother, it is just an advice. Let me tell you, even if you build the ones that are already built in civilized world, people still die.
But you know, I mean, in Nigeria, we don't live, according to this thing, we don't live up to 52 years. I mean, in our country, people still die, but there are countries where you go, people living as old as 100 years, as old as 80.
Let me tell you, these are statistics. Statistics for men. I am telling you that people live above 150 in this country.
Are you saying that this advice should be thrown to the dustbin?
My brother, I said we have important issues like insecurities and preparing job solutions to our teeming youth who are roaming the streets. Who these governors,
all right,
who are our leaders have not even given attention to coming to build roads where bicycle will ride. Because how many people are even thinking of buying or bicycle? Even if a former minister have done that, my brother, you don't know.
All right, thank you.
That decision, you don't know the mindset to which we had before doing that. So
all right, thank you. 95.1, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, I think this should be our last call for today.
Okay, my name is Chamberlain.
Chamberlain, good evening.
Yeah. The advice from the road safety law is a welcome development. In fact, it's not a new thing. It's something we already know that is or that will be helpful. But unfortunately, I think the advice is already in the waste bin because our leaders wouldn't want to do the simple thing that will benefit the common or the masses.
Let's not be too sure about that. Let's watch and see what happens. Of course, we'll have a government who has been constructing bridges and roads. You may want to listen to his advice.
They would rather prefer to construct more flyovers, especially in Port Harcourt.
They will just add the lane for bicycle now.
That one, is it that one that is for the common man?
Let's be optimistic. Let's just be optimistic.
It's a nice one. If they so do, at least we'll applaud them.
All right, thank you.
It's still unfortunate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's about the size of our package this evening, this Tuesday evening. This, of course, has been the platform. It's been a production of our news department, and this edition was put together by the news team. Do not forget to take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap under running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent COVID-19. I'm Onyekachi. We'll be with you again the same time tomorrow. Good evening.
has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Sai dawo eyele kammi oda uma avare irioko akawuke nang we reko abeg do a diversion make we enter Today FM 95.1 and now wetin dey happen na dey happen for Port Harcourt mba cause no be Sai dawo eyele kammi oda uma avare irioko akawuke nang we reko abeg do a diversion make we enter Today FM 95.1 and now wetin dey happen na dey happen for Port Harcourt mba cause no be Sai dawo eyele kammi oda uma avare irioko akawuke nang we reko abeg do a diversion make we enter Today FM 95.1 and now wetin dey happen na dey happen for Port Harcourt mba cause no be
We live for you alone in a world.
don't put.
Confirm.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome everybody. We don't start, we say we don't start. Yes, I tell you. People don't follow God on our you want to follow worship for me. So you're in the conversation. People
on rampage in protest following reports of killings of one of their members by personnel of civil defense attached to River State Task Force on illegal trading and motor parks. Police personnel later arrived at the scene to damage some buses after the drivers blocked the road, not giving access to road users. The driver, identified as Christian, popularly called Biggie, was later confirmed dead at a nearby hospital where he was rushed to. In the meantime, the remains of the victim has been taken to mortuary at University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, where crowds of buses are currently. All right.
Due to an accident he had.
Ew.
This one, I'm a ring spirit, the warrior. I'm in a bit to satisfactor, in a bit to seek, satisfactory. She started sleeping with her rifle. However, her maid catched both of them on one occasion, and since then, she has not been respecting her madam. And maybe now this driver now he made her boyfriend. You understand me?
So now the maid
level by level, madam and Oka, house girl and driver. Now she don't go break house girl hat.
Can't go, they go stay with go use a driver reptile.
Yeah, reptile. Say what be like waiting again, I beg.
It's just say what be like Okada when no crystal.
The woman expression worry that her husband will soon send her packing if the maid opens up to him. Although she said the house help has not threatened her, she feels the best way to keep her from divulging the secret is to send her away, and for fear of being exposed, she wants to divorce so that maybe she can continue season 2. Season 1 she no act and wait, they won't catch him now. He come to a legend like me. Let me teach you how to play action movie. You know what they do for you for inside radio house, and they deal with you, and they kill you, consume you.
Behave yourself. Wash yourself now.
No.
Anytime you hear this your butterfly cloth, you better wash yourself. Behave yourself. Come on, talk.
Okay. I don't come down. Now, you know now. That is the first. Let's go back to
because the first one.
The first Bible reading. My mate. Talk now.
My maid or my mate.
It doesn't concern you. My mate.
Spell what you see there.
M-E-A-I-R-E.
M-E-A.
I-R-E. Mate.
My maid.
Catched me.
He made catch him with hand.
Strip with my driver.
Okay. Maid catch me. Sleep with my driver. Go do work.
Name now if young.
If another your school now they go.
Nara.
Hello, wrong song.
No, we don't know. This one they go listen. Listen.
Mparenen now they go. Near your school junction now. And
does he say that it's called here?
Now all those lecturers will be dropouts. Now that if those school that they teach.
Akpaishong.
No worry, leave that thing. No, they talk back.
I want to offend though.
Back to sender, yeah.
Okay, people of Paragon, I don't get they don't bang onions. So all these people where they like to, all these suya men now, all these guys where they buy suya, they give their baby the meat. They call them 19339962. The WhatsApp and text message stay on. Jace. So people of Paragon begin to help yourself now. Make yourself no help you. Now begin to call the number and told us what you felt about for this mattress. What does your spirit tell you about? That is it. Over and out. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
I greet you.
I greet you too. My name is Blessing and I call from Port Harcourt.
I greet you, better person.
But I say good evening, no.
In the greet you, honey.
Which one be brother Servic? Now they say church would they go?
You be brother now. You know, the person they even call you brother safe.
Okay. Now this girl when say she won't be usher.
Exactly.
Okay. Welcome.
I'm the pay tired where the pay tired.
Welcome. Good evening. No.
How are you?
Over and out.
Over and out.
No, today not be over out. Today over and in. No.
Over and out.
No, knock your husband again. I beg now.
I'm not gonna rock him, but make it not provoke me. Make it not make me the face. What's in the
room? No good to choose my husband and wife matter.
No be smart. I bet mother carry your mouth back. Put for your hand. Because again, when you go talk now, she go your vest. Can't lock me for toilet. No go be even room again.
I want to talk for that matter about the students and that teacher will beat that student. You don't turn to normal overnight. You can't let me in my man. You can't let me your wife go down to for a little bit that annoyance. That everything together won't complete innocent.
So now I'm they come beat for school.
No,
instead
not
of
true. Not true.
The pikin don't turn nama now.
No, you know they far from the truth. Like waiting Udeme do me for 2 days. He reached to keep Percy Pikin if I be teacher. With the annoyance, when I reach school and mash Percy Pikin head. Say no come here.
Just come when no come there. What of the following day that the mother comes to make the pikin come there. If that pikin come there, now the woman come go beat the teacher back. Go, I go.
No, the woman go school go. He can't go school with the pikin the next day. He go beat the teacher back. He beat them way. And I call him woman. Now I call him laying.
She chop dog meat. Go.
He chop dog meat. Go to school. Bites the woman
This.
Thank you.
You don't pay your tithe.
He don't pay. 5,000.
Where the money?
I don't use that. Now this cook soup boy job.
Come soup when you don't give me meat.
No problem.
I know like I think no. Soup where you put now 2 periwinkle then you count them.
Yes, you know say everything that they
2
manage.
2 periwinkle 7 leave.
Na native doctor. Sarah, okay, people of Barago, only you want to tell me something. You give it you want to talk. And you don't turn to mechanic for inside the studio. Okay, more the pick up before we enter with them this business. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I greet you. God bless you.
Wait now. You don't tell that man where did I say I closed there for my house.
Say now.
Don't forget that day.
So okay.
Forget there for my house. Don't tell
No need. Not even that day. Not 2 days ago.
Why you
2 nights ago. He tell me say go night vigil. He tell me say go night vigil. Now you be the pastor where she come meet.
Yes. You know that's not deliverance I go for.
And the black say you never know. The black say you never know what happened because I pray say thunder that we fire that pastor.
He forget the miniskirt.
Miniskirt when I buy for her, she never even show me. She can't show you first.
Yes.
And you they happy they call us. You they tell me.
My baby.
Oh, for my front. For my front, Oga. Choose where the thunder go meet you. Choose the department where the thunder won't knock you now. So because they come.
Make I write my will.
No need to write. You don't get any property. Which will you write?
Now wish she get.
No, we'll get property the right will. I be you want write a charger, fishing bucket for your will.
I never chop. I don't get to laugh.
You want?
Now wait. You don't disgrace me. Finish. What's happened?
May I ask you one question? Why those people they ban something? All of us go they shake. They ban onions. Now they shake. When they tell you not go now, everything when they ban now they shake. Why not they shake?
You
don't like onions?
Onions for waiting they happen.
So for waiting they happen.
Lizard don't they put a place. Lizard don't they put a place. Dog don't they put a place. Anything when they ban all of them they shake. They shake. Just imagine. Common onions under the shake.
Wait, now, Steffi, honey, make I tell them something now. Based on 1 or 2 now, Mark cray you. No be that day where that make a just confession, make everybody know what me and you don't do. Because you don't disgrace me. That is why I come out from the one where I came, where my husband they lock her inside in bedroom. No be you be the face. Say the stew where I cook, the onions not plenty. Say and there too, I cook beans. You say the onions not plenty. Nobody say you thought honey. Now waiting happen be that.
Another place where you go.
Oh, another place where she confused. Oh no, she tell me say she go for 2 services.
So now I tell you that make una dey shake every time una dey shake. That is what they kill una. Okay? So we get those things. And again, not do what happened for Sunday. Okay, after they come back home on Sunday, for Bibo Junction, people, 2 men when they go church, I'm a man just take Koboko, flog them, all of them fall for ground. That is good.
Hey.
For where?
Oh, I go check the Bible whether I could or not. I go ask my Bible.
So,
who get the who the one? Who the do for?
I go wound you now. Come on, my onions will kill them. Say, then they don't break your heart way.
You know the guy, you know who use any key.
What thing comes down now, you know look your face.
I not seen a long song comprehensive.
Nah, right. This one.
Made the assam.
This one, nah, listen.
Made the assam. We school in finish. It go shock you. A long song.
Nah, right. No, we are long song.
How long?
No, we are not long song. No, we are not long song.
How long song? Even the school name no get comma. You no get food.
I don't long song.
How long song?
Yes. Post secondary and uniface. Now yeah, go.
That way be say lecturer, HOD, VCO, everybody now drop out.
Forget up. Some pick up. Hello. No worry.
Hello.
Who be that? Who press your voice?
Who be this person?
Who they press your neck?
Under 18 years, what they call us?
No. I have to talk to my darling Sevi.
Sefi.
This one shock me. This one
Sefi. Sefi. So you dey cheat under me?
Wait, I want to know that. Man, know that fairly used. I mean, are you a tear rubber or you are fairly used?
Nah, Okrika. No be full very.
Oh, tear rubber. Talk to me. How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Oh my God.
So, it's better than something they worry this
oh my God.
You don't make your voice make it sense.
My God.
Is it sense reach me?
Why she no go jealous?
I'm very angry with you. How will you lock my own inside the house for 2 days?
Yes, because you don't overfeed him. You don't go fit chop overdose.
No worry. No worry, I don't get power. She not go try me again. I don't get power.
Hello, darling.
How are you?
Don't mind her. Don't worry. Next time she tries, call me. I'm available.
You will be there skipping rope.
She dey seize my phone. I want to call you.
I will cut your reptile now.
She dey seize my phone.
Don't do until them.
Now when they call until you dey you dey do copy. You go dey buy person dey blow breeze. You go dey buy me dey blow me breeze.
This girl go like reptile. So she just beg until them don't do.
They don't do that. This one na tigress for that side.
My name is Hannah. I'm calling you from South.
Your name now waiting?
Oui.
I said my name is Hannah. Calm down now with a quarrel.
What will be your name?
My name is Hannah.
Hannah
what?
All this word they answer Hannah. Don't they stay house? So.
Insha, Hannah.
Yes.
Insha, I quarrel with you.
No. Oh. Hannah, where you they stay?
I'm staying at South Road.
See where you go stay.
South
Road. Now you go stay. Like say, if you may lock me for midnight, ma call you. I bet forget her. Come up for that area. Tell me.
Insha, Hannah.
Yes.
Hannah, in short, from now on, don't again framing with the quarrel. Doesn't call upon me.
Oh yeah, sorry for her.
I tell you.
What does he say?
You did not tell that two of us they are hiding something from.
What does Abeg? Don't say if I hear your voice, I go press your neck. Talk to me, Anna. What does he tell you? What does he tell you?
I do not tell you.
No, but he didn't tell you.
So Anna, which of the this you want put your mouth put?
Narai, no put mouth for this mattress. What do you say Sevik they rule with you? Eh? I mean that don't kiss you.
You know me and Sevik,
we are church members.
I go bring you now. I'm out of here. Talk to me.
She go our church.
Narai, I don't check out the roster. Hannah no there. Talk to me.
That new member I pray for. That new member I pray for.
Now wait.
Don't mind him. I came to his house on Sunday.
No, okay,
come on
here. Okay, wait.
I go stop you my shoe now.
That girl what I say where break share. So she will call the hide the she say she break share for
even
you.
That man too, where I go see too, him break share for church too.
I pray for I break share.
Even me, I pray for that man.
We call the hide and more no tell you.
So Hannah,
thank you for calling.
Come on here, Hannah.
Yes.
Talk to me now, woman to woman, on that tone. What does he say to you now?
Over and out.
Oh, found out. And a man no catch you for my church.
This Anna, he breaks share. No one pay
Come on
tax.
here. See, if I hear your voice, if I shot, oh, what's not go rule you, Oh, you're okay. You know if you know.
No verse. No, because nobody.
Tell me now, I don't the rice.
Nobody know the one you want to do next.
I don't the rice.
No verse.
I don't the rice.
No rice.
When I run rice.
No rice. So
I go explode.
Cool rice.
You know, say yesterday now my mother-in-law for radio in birthday. Mama Rita Benson, very fine woman. Now, where is my radio husband resemble? But what say he get big lip. Her own lip small. He get big lip. Say he get big lip.
No, the why
Mommy happy birthday for yesterday in advance.
Why it be like say my lip big? Now because I join my pa lip and my man lip can't
so
get
I go resemble them. He can't become king of lip. Mommy, happy birthday in advance.
Yeah.
Now advance I mean.
In areas. Now you don't pass now.
But in the worry you.
Advance now front. Now still like go the correct. When they correct now you go lock person. You go the lock in correction.
So no now
like
mommy happy birthday in areas.
Not be areas. In areas.
Okay. 0817000951 0810951091. This song number Pastor Denji. Adedoyin, my spiritual father, the Badami one master. Oh, Jezadi, fire the go. For whatever this message, only we then go for the 070193399. 07019339960. For whatever this message. 07 I go not you now. 07019339962. Now the WhatsApp this message nomenclature hemoglobin bira. More the pick or the go. Hello, good evening. And here.
Hey.
Good evening. Now will be your love among two of us. Now my man, I mean me.
You remember my love now.
Now repeat my love.
Now woman nine they call things in a man.
Yeah, the voice. Wait, now hear your voice again. Hear your voice. Talk more, hear your voice.
I tell the man my love now.
You are taking. Thank God, say this one clear. Say now a long song. Now he graduate from.
Come on, for what in the room? Talk to me.
Oh, madam. Madam. Madam.
I don't even that word. I still love you.
It's still rough.
Oh, now it's still rough. Now they carry adults like me play.
If you say it's still rough, you go tire for them.
Okay, don't be that girl where you say she get marked like pussy.
No, be away get marked like pussy. That one na listen. This one na foul lip picket. Na foul lip.
No, me I don't insult you.
You see, very ugly voice when you get.
Man, I don't insult me.
Very ugly voice.
It be like those girls with the thief phone for garrison.
You not worrying.
Now worrying now?
No, you not worrying now. You not worrying now.
Now worrying me. Now worrying me.
You not worrying now. You not be worried. You not get credit to quarrel. We know they. Now you did.
We are not go.
We did.
We the roast gun. You know say that in this kind of the sweet everywhere.
Anywhere.
Even on that table.
Anywhere you go. Represent yourself.
I tell you.
If I say go lock this husband again.
Again, I think because see that can wake up and they face me. And it's not family crisis. When they talk about family crisis today.
Why you the verse for the girl?
Why she go they talk to you like that?
Oh,
in my frontage. In my own frontage. Not for my backyard.
Now lie you no mind. We know their frontage. You come on go mama up away frontage. Go talk.
Shall we flog down? Ain't no try. If you the vest, make it and go face a children for us.
Why the boy no come be here?
You know what the boy head now so him be.
I want be.
He get some people that hair like that. When you come back.
Huh?
Hello.
I hear you. It's still rough now. Wow.
Voice,
this your network.
I want to hear what you talk. Your voice so shy.
Ain't no get credit. What didn't get na 2 naira. Very annoying person. And are you the custom? You just understand when you give a card. Hello?
Hello.
Wait, to my daughter.
Yeah, what's stopping, man?
I will talk to Civic one mama.
You don't call with us your wrong English.
Reform.
Wrong correct English.
I mean, I spoke more than she.
You cannot spoke what than me. You know, I can spoke what than you.
2 graduates. These 2 graduates. Well, graduates.
See, I am a graduate. I am a graduate.
Yeah.
I am a graduate.
She dey cry.
You doesn't talk to me like that.
Cry. It's like
this
Belle. Belle, you can't know you're pregnant because if you look at her and Belle, I give you no pregnancy, I can't give you.
I say you are give me a pregnant.
Forget that in Belle, I give you. I mean, know what I give you. I mean, not me carry and put for your body.
But have you checked the scanners of this child?
The scan.
No
worry now. No worry.
Is it? Not me who do all the inside.
Now anybody. Stop that, you know. Good order.
Error.
My pikin.
Hello.
Answer 2 names one time.
Hello.
Go there, free.
And they make me laugh here.
No mind this, my radio husband. They provocation me.
Laugh, oh, they don't ban on your so laugh, oh. May your sorrow. May you laugh away your sorrow.
Say. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, my name is Vivian.
Vivi.
Yeah.
Now, they get Rugbako champions, then they do. Rugbako champions, they will
people where they snore, now they say that area snorers.
Rugbako. Welcome.
Natang for snoring people.
Natang.
Thank
you.
Rugbako, well done, eh? Yeah.
You see, you in short.
Rukboku people.
No provoke